And we love hearing from you, the listener. 314-436-7900 is our phone number. Call it, text it. On the Odyssey app, which is our streaming app where you can listen to the show live and Cardinals baseball live when the season is going on. It's coming up. In fact, you can hear it Saturday. You'll hear some baseball Saturday. You can also send us a message directly from the app. There's a button that says send a message. You record it and shoot it over to us, and maybe you will hear it on the air. Also, we are streaming if you want to watch us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Time now for the top of the order. The top three stories everybody will be talking about.
It looks like I might finally get those weeds.
I hope so.
The Gateway Arch Park Foundation has selected Cordish Companies, which is the Ballpark Village people, to transform the Millennium Hotel. So everybody knows the hotel, the two-cylinder hotels. I'm going to get those weeds.
I'm excited for you. Okay, a tragic story that we did briefly talk about yesterday, but a woman's body, confirmed that it was a homeless woman, was found dead on Clark Avenue, right there next to City Hall. They are going to do an autopsy. No foul play is suspected. But Ranj, it really brought up the conversation of homelessness in our city, extreme temperatures, and what we could have done better. Could her life have been saved?
And the Cardinals continue their spring training. Guess who was there today? David Freese. David Freese was at spring training,
Really?
or yesterday.
Like, just saying hi to people?
Oh, just, yeah, I mean...
was he on vacation and then he swung by Roger Dean Stadium, or was he going to Florida to go specifically to Roger Dean Stadium?
I would like to think he went there just for the Cardinals, just to see him, you know.
I think he was on vacation.
He was probably on vacation.
Take a poll.
Yeah. Yeah, what's David Freese doing in Florida? If you don't really know, it doesn't matter.
Why is he there?
If it doesn't matter, whatever.
We should just speculate.
No, but he's doing some coaching there. So that's cool.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Okay. A mutual friend who grew up with David Freese talked about the friend was not a baseball fan, but he didn't know much about sports, and he asked Dave to give him, like, tell me about a swing, right? The science behind a swing. He's like, no, it's too much. It's kind of a lot. And he's like, no, but I want to hear about it. And he said for the next 45 minutes, David Freese broke down the intricacies and the nuances and the science of a swing. And by the way, he was doing this to a guy who went to MIT.
Yeah.
That's how technical it is. It is insane. He goes, I had no idea how much went into it.
I told you the story before. There was a Sox player named Paul Konerko, and I watched him have an interaction with a reporter once. And Paul was a very good hitter. Not Hall of Fame good, but good, right? And he, the reporter asked him something specific about hitting, and Konerko's answer was, "You're not going to understand it."
Yeah.
And he's a very nice guy, kind of walked away, and he came back 5 or 10 minutes later and said, you know what, that sounded rude. I don't mean it to be. It's just so technical that if I start to talk to you about it, you're not going to understand what I'm saying. And it's true.
And kudos to him for going back, by the way.
Yeah, super nice guy, because
awesome
he felt bad.
Yeah.
He thought he came off as a jerk, but he wasn't being a jerk. And I think that's, like, when you talk about baseball and how difficult it is, most of us just kind of played the game. Some of us didn't play past high school. Some of us didn't even play in high school. And you just sort of played. I mean, you had coaches who taught you how to do some fundamental stuff. But when you're talking about professional hitters, what they go through to learn a swing and how they can break it down and how they can know that every swing looks the same at certain points, from guy to guy. It doesn't matter what your batting stance is, that every swing, when you're in the act of it, it's just the science behind it is more intricate than you can possibly imagine, even though it just looks like a simple act.
Well, and that also gave me a new appreciation for what it means when a hitter is in his head, or why a hitter might come across as sensitive to coaching or a hitting coach, or why you don't want to think about too many things or know certain things, because It is a million data points that you're synthesizing in a 1,000th of a second as you swing the bat.
It's crazy. And because they are reacting,
Yeah.
that's why everybody talks about how hard hitting is. And you hear athletes say it's the most difficult thing to do in sports. And you could probably say that about a lot of different things, but there is something really almost impossible
Mhm.
about standing in a batter's box and 60 feet away is a guy who can throw the ball at least 95 miles an hour at you. You don't know where he's going to throw it. You don't know how hard he's going to throw it. You don't know if it's going to have a wrinkle in it or if it's going to be a straight fastball. You have to react to it, and your swing has to be on point when you do it. All of that together is so difficult.
That's my worst nightmare, and that is why, and this is not a lie, having played hockey and tennis and soccer and running, I love running because there's no thinking. There's no skill. There's no skill involved. It is
Well,
try really hard.
See, and
End
okay,
of story.
I'm glad you
I'm
said
not
that.
joking. That's really what it is. That's why it benefits me, because here's what I can do. I can show up every day
Yeah.
and I can try hard. I don't want to think. I don't want strategy. I don't have skill. I don't have touch. And running is no skill.
I'm glad you said that, because when it comes to baseball specifically, there are very few times you hear fans complain about a guy not playing well or, just out of sorts. And they'll say, needs to try harder or more effort or whatever. Very rarely in the case of professional baseball, it the case that a player is struggling because they're not trying. In fact, if you do, and it sounds like a cliche, but there's so much truth to it. For a lot of these dudes, if they try too hard, they will fail. Hitters will fail if they try too hard. Pitchers can fail if they try too hard.
Well, it is because there's a skill, there's a technicality of it. It's why there's a difference between a feat of strength, a feat of endurance, and a highly skilled sport, because golf, of course, it helps to be strong and in shape, but you can't try harder in the sense of pure effort. You can't say, well, I'm not playing very well, so I'm going to swing as hard as I can.
Right? That's exactly it.
It's not what it is. You can't swing as hard as you can.
Because then you start swinging at dumb pitches.
Yes, and the same thing with golf. It's about the skill versus in running. You can run angry, you can run happy, but if you have this flow of emotion and it goes into pure effort where you are overriding your body's signals to stop or to slow down, that's what makes a great runner. And lest I offend the runners, I'm not saying there's no talent. There's talent in running, but it's different than a highly skilled technical sport like golf. And that's why I always joke. That's why golf is offensive to me. I can't try hard.
And you know what, though,
I can't.
Amy?
You can work hard, but you can't. Like, endurance is not going to help me in golf.
But it's also true in the other sports, the major ones like football, basketball, and hockey, where they are all, of course, you have to have skill, but you have to have a lot of effort. And you can tell when a football team or a basketball team or a hockey team has quit.
Yeah.
It's
can tell.
noticeable. In baseball, a team looks like it's not trying when they're not hitting.
Yeah.
When they're striking out or they're hitting lazy ground balls, it looks like they are not trying, but that's not the case. They are. It's a different kind of sport. You can't put max effort into swinging a baseball bat and thinking that the results are going to come, because it doesn't work that way. Where you can notice it is how they run the bases, how they chase after balls in the field. You can notice effort there.
If I were a hitter and I just was in a horrible slump and I couldn't make contact with the ball, I would start swinging as hard as I could visibly, because knowing I was going to miss anyway. And that way you could look in the replay and go, well, it looks like she's trying.
Well,
look how hard she
gave it
fell
her
over.
best.
You know the 360 swings where you swing so hard, you spin around? I would do that on every pitch to be like, look at how hard I tried.
See, don't try hard. Nobody likes a try hard, Amy, especially in baseball.
All I've got.
But it is, I know we've said this a bunch already in the last couple of weeks, but to have weather like this in St. Louis, have snow on the ground, but also know that down south, our baseball team is getting ready for the season and they're playing in warm conditions, and baseball is coming. Like I said earlier, we will have spring training baseball right here on KMOX on Saturday at 12 o'clock. So The snow will be melting on Saturday. We're going to get into the 40s, I think.
Yeah, I think after the weekend, it's close to 60.
But you're on Saturday, you can
Yep.
look out the window, see snow on the ground, and hear baseball.
Yes,
That's the best.
It's going to be beautiful.
That's Amy Marks Coors. I'm Chris Ranji. On the show today, Senator from the state of Missouri, Mary Elizabeth Coleman, who we talked to yesterday. She had to run because there was a meeting going on. We will talk to her today about the Missouri Doge portal. Also, Matt Pauley, Polo Asensio. We'll talk baseball with them. And yes, huge news about the Millennium Hotel site. I am so excited. I cannot wait for this. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Hey, it's Matt Pauley. I'm in Jupiter, Florida, covering Cardinal spring training as the Redbirds get ready for a new season.
Here, Matt's reports from Redbird Camp, mornings and afternoons, and on Sports Open Line, on your home of the St. Louis Cardinals, KMOX.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guaranteed details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Discover true luxury at Missouri's first and only standalone Genesis dealership, Genesis of St. Charles. Thank you for making us the #1 Genesis dealer in Missouri for 2024. True luxury isn't just built, it's engineered with precision and passion. Explore amazing cutting-edge technology, redefined elegance, and exhilarating performance in the new 25 GV80. A new level of luxury awaits you at Genesis of St. Charles. Visit us in-store or shop genesisofstcharles.com. Based on GMA sales records.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars Lose the Weight and Stop Smoking. Early bird specials $49.99. Seminar Sunday, March 16th, Aviator Hotel and Suites, South I-55, St. Louis. Weight loss 11 a.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 p.m. Or Monday, March 17th, 4 Point Church in St. Louis. Fairview Heights, Fairview Heights. Weight loss 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 p.m.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey guys, Dave Glover here for Universal Windows Direct. Right now, buy 2 windows, get 2 for free, no limit, plus 36 months with 0 interest. Restrictions apply. Have a price, they'll beat it. Schedule your free in-home estimate today.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
If you want to know what's happening with your St. Louis Cardinals, then you need to get the inside scoop from the Gas House Gang. Every weekday at noon, Tom Ackerman, Matt Pauley, Kevin Wheeler, and Bernie Nicholas break down the latest Cardinals news with analysis only true experts can bring. Live on the KMOX YouTube channel and KMOX Sports on X, and replayed weeknights at 8 on KMOX. The Gas House Gang, sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling and Game Day Men's Health, on your home of the St. Louis Cardinals, KMOX.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the place for skilled skydiving instructors, accomplished airbrush artists, and proficient pediatricians. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter to hire, you're missing out. ZipRecruiter is the place that's so confident it can make your hiring easier that it lets you try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. So if you want the right candidates for all your roles, ZipRecruiter is the place to go. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Happy birthday to us. 2 surprises for you. 2 surprises from NordVPN. 2 surprises for you.
Celebrate twice as much with NordVPN. We have a special birthday deal. Get 72% off and a coupon for up to 1 year free. NordVPN is rated as excellent on PC Mag. Visit NordVPN.com and discover one of the most advanced VPNs in the world. What are the benefits? Secure up to 10 devices with a single account. Receive alerts if your email address leaks to the dark web.
Reduce the risk of phishing, scams, and malware with NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro tool. Encrypt your online traffic and browse with more peace of mind. Get the special birthday deal at NordVPN.com. Additional terms apply. NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day.
Locally focused, nationally trusted. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Boy, it's cold outside, huh? Bitter cold! Bitter! I was out for 5 minutes before. I couldn't feel my extremities.
What extremities?
It is freaking cold.
Hey, and speaking of that, I have a shout out. Can I just say I've had nothing but great experiences with the fine folks at Dobbs Tire and Auto. And I say this is not a commercial, but literally I called Dobbs yesterday and I said, I know this is last minute. You know, the weather's crazy. The snow's going to come. My oil needed to be changed. I had no wiper fluid. I was going to pour a glass of water on my windshield.
Which you don't do.
I know. And then like go and just like clean it off with the windshield wipers. And they said, can you get here in like 30 minutes? And I did. This was the one in Olivet. And Ben and the crew took care of me. And thank you so much to Dobbs. Literally, I have to say something because they've done this several times now. They have just gone out of their way to help me out.
That was very nice of them.
I know, because like the thing is,
also,
when
it's
weather
their
like
business, Amy.
Well, it is their business, but
did you pay them?
Yeah.
See?
But
they have to do what you tell them because you're paying them.
Not really.
This is like, I think the Hooters waitress really likes me.
No.
That's what this is.
I have called places where I'm like, this is last minute. And they go, no.
Because they're busy.
We don't have time. They were busy and they were able to make it work. At any rate, this is because when it's weather like this, you can't mess around. Like if your car, Matt Pajeski, don't drive around with a quarter of a tank of gas.
I filled up yesterday.
Okay.
Attaboy.
This is when I always think of what's wrong with my car when the weather gets serious. I'm like, I need new tires. I do. I need new tires. So I'm like, all right, I made an appointment to get new tires. Got my oil changed. Got my wiper fluid refilled.
Well,
I always think of it too late.
We are all very glad that you were okay.
Thanks.
And great work by the Dobbs people.
Yeah, I'm grateful to Dobbs because you know what this guy does? Ranj, he waits until something goes wrong and then he's dead
I didn't know it was going to go
is
wrong.
Dead in the garage. And then I think you called AAA 7 times.
I did. There was a stretch for about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Where everybody at AAA got to know me.
Yeah,
like they knew my coffee order. They were so helpful. Again, I pay them.
That's their job.
That's exactly right.
I never
pay them.
said that Mr. Dobbs was in love with me. I said I'm just grateful for people who are working. This is, you know what, too? This is what is the remnants of COVID. Extra appreciation for essential workers who keep working, keep things going, can't work from home. You're not changing your oil from home. You're not rotating the tires from home. These guys show up to work every day, and they showed up to work through COVID.
We showed up to work every day. Look at us.
Well, I didn't.
Here we are.
Remote.
Here we are, right here.
I am not an essential worker.
Amy,
I'm barely working.
Text messages, you really.
And I'm definitely not essential.
Text message says the snow sucks, as does the weather. I don't know. I kind of like the snow.
That's a bad attitude.
And also, Amy never misses a chance to trash David Freese. Poor David Freese. You got him out of the Hall of Fame.
Did I trash him?
No, you didn't.
I thought I was admiring him.
You were admiring.
Because he was explaining the swing.
You were admiring the swing. Yes. That was what you said was you had very admirable thoughts about him. Is that right? Admirable? You were saying
my thought. No, that would mean that my thoughts.
You were
worthy of being
admirable, but about him,
they were admiring.
You thought
thoughts.
You thought he was admirable for what he did.
We've got 3 more minutes of this.
No, we don't, because there is huge news today.
Okay.
I am so excited about this. Actually, part of me kind of wishes that they would never do anything with the Millennium Hotel so that we could just have this giant rotting building in the center of downtown, basically across the street from one of the jewels of our city, which is Busch Stadium. And it's something is happening. The Cordish Company, which built Ballpark Village, the developer for Ballpark Village, and also manages it, was awarded with the opportunity to redevelop the Millennium Hotel site. That is a hotel that I have stayed in a number of times. When the Missouri Valley tournament was going on in St. Louis and I was coming back from college, we would stay there a lot. Just a really cool, great place, and I miss it. But the renderings of what they are about to do look great. Now, again, a lot of things can happen. There can be tweaks to the design or complete redesign, and we'll find out today for sure from Ryan McClure and Mike LaMartino with Cordish. McClure's with the Gateway Arch Park Foundation. We'll find out exactly what's next and when it's all going to go down. They're joining the show in the 12 o'clock hour. But I am so glad that something is actually happening with that.
Okay.
I can't believe that for this many years, that place right in the center of downtown was allowed to be vacant.
So I don't want to talk out of school, whatever it may be. But this $670 million plan, as you mentioned, upscale residences, office spaces, public areas, other attractions. You sent the picture to me of the rendering.
And you said, what is this?
And I said, what is this?
Yeah.
And you were like, are they really going to build this? You had doubts because it looked so amazing.
It does.
It looks so amazing. It looks like, this is what I heard from everybody when I didn't do it, when the city built Energizer Park, City Park, was I feel like we're in a different city. Like, this is a little too nice, a little too fancy. That part of Market had been dead, a gross parking lot for years and years and years. And suddenly we have this state-of-the-art facility that soccer teams from Europe would come visit and just be in awe of how beautiful and new it is. I felt, I hate to say it, but when I go to Energizer Park, I'm like, this is in St. Louis.
I know.
That's how I will feel if this project gets built.
And they rebuilt the entire highway exchange, which was right there to accommodate the soccer stadium. But the renderings of this place look really, really great.
I thought it was Chicago.
And I know.
I did.
It's futuristic.
Yeah.
It looks very cool. I hope that it goes down the way it is currently planned. This plan is going to be put in front of the Land Clearance for Redevelopment Authority Board next week. So on Tuesday, they're going to take a look at it. But this is a great, great step in a right direction of getting that derelict building out of the city and replacing it with something very cool. Missouri Senator Mary Elizabeth Coleman joined us yesterday, had to bounce quickly. We're going to talk to her when we come back about the Missouri Doge portal that is next on KMOX.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Charlie Brennan with Dr. Colleen Bosler from the Audiology Center. What can people expect when they visit one of your doctors at the Audiology Center?
Expect a friendly greeting and a waiting room stocked full of refreshments. But more importantly, a patient should expect that they're treated on an individual basis. We are not retail, and we pride ourselves on our medical model. Each hearing aid is catered towards each patient's unique needs. Expect a full history intake where we get to know you and your personal needs. And then we'll complete a full battery of tests where we can adequately diagnose your hearing health. We want you to understand those results right away. So directly following your tests, we're going to go over everything extensively. Finally, at that time, we'll develop a customized treatment plan built around you as an individual.
The Audiology Center, 3 locations in the St. Louis area, 636-441-7470. The Audiology Center, STL.com.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Fira Capital Management for your retirement highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
Cold weather is coming. Is your garage door ready? Cardinal Cowboy here. 30 years ago, when I woke up from a coma and was lying in the hospital bed, I felt stuck. I know you don't want the feeling of being stuck out in the cold because of a faulty garage door. Renner has you covered. Whether it's repairs or replacements or a new opener from brands like Delden, Amar, or LiftMaster, Renner will keep your door working like a charm. Check that one off your to-do list.
RENNER, RENNER.
At 10:30, it's 13 degrees, feels like 6 downtown at the Arch. Justice Department lawyers and New York City Mayor Eric Adams are set to face a federal judge who's signaling he's unlikely to rubber stamp their request to drop corruption charges weeks before an April trial. There's a crash on 70 going west at 141. The right 3 lanes are closed. 70 west at 141. Also 370 going west at 270. The left 2 lanes are closed there. Forecast is sponsored by Financial and Tax Strategies. We've got some clouds today, some sun, and a passing flurry. High temperature 17 for tonight. The temperature is going to be about 0. Real feels are going to be 10 to 20 below. And tomorrow's high, 20. Right now, 13 feels like 6. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
It's never too early to start thinking about your retirement journey, and it's never too late either. You just need to know that the steps may look a little different. Listen to Wealth and Wisdom with Gary Goldberg, Saturday mornings at 7 here on KMOX.
College sports hold a mythic place in American culture, but sometimes the drama off the court overshadows the action on it.
The higher-ups are concerned about one thing, and that is avoiding scandal.
I'm Margot Gray. On the new podcast, Campus Files, we cover everything, including some of the biggest scandals in college sports. Listen to and follow Campus Files, an Odyssey original podcast, available now on the free Odyssey app and wherever you get your podcasts.
O'Reilly Veriscan is a free check engine light testing program that pulls from over 600 million vehicle scans confirmed by ASE certified technicians to provide a simple report and possible fixes. Available exclusively at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Being first in line can be very important to homeowners. First in line for the plumber, first in line for the HVAC guy, first in line for Banner Construction. It's Banner Construction's winter home event, and you can be first in line this spring and save before the annual price increases. Banner Construction is a James Hardy and Pella Winter replacement specialist, and now is the best time to schedule a free in-home consultation with no obligation. Call 314-569-1050 or see them online and have a banner day.
Stay informed. Stay entertained. The voice of St. Louis. KMOX.
Well, as we were talking about, Missouri launches its own Doge portal for residents in the state of Missouri to report areas where they think there is government waste and spending. And our conversation got cut short yesterday with Senator Mary Elizabeth Coleman, but she joins us today to resume where we left off. Senator Coleman, thank you for joining us again.
Hey, thanks for being so gracious and letting me come back on and finish the conversation. And I apologize again for the nature of the building being kind of fast moving, and it's just sometimes it can get a little bit tricky. So thank you for the chance to talk a little bit more about it.
No problem, but unfortunately we have to go. So we have to we have things to do.
No, we get it. Well, again, just to kind of reset the table here with Missouri Doge, we were kind of highlighting how it is different from what we're seeing with Elon Musk and President Trump, where you do have the federal government slashing jobs, cutting jobs, kind of a lot. I've been saying, like, with a hacksaw, they're cutting jobs. In Missouri, this is not the Missouri legislature or government cutting jobs. This is a portal for residents in Missouri to report where they see areas of waste.
Yeah, that's right. So in Missouri, what we're doing is we do have a Doge effort, which is to try to bring efficiency to state government. And so that is obviously the same. And I think there's a lot of appetite for that. People are frustrated that government hasn't been working well for taxpayers, that maybe people don't feel like they're getting what they're buying with their tax dollars. I'm frankly really thrilled that we're finally kind of looking at and addressing that on a systemic level. But rather than doing that through the executive branch, Missouri State Senate is looking at it through a committee, and we're looking at what is working and what is not working. And we're asking for the public to weigh in on that through this portal where people can submit ideas, submit what is going on. And then, by the way, we're also doing our own internal work on structurally where things are going. And then we'll have legislation to change those things. We'll make budget recommendations. But this is done through kind of an open air process. There's a lot of sunshine. We're getting a lot of input from the public, and it's not done through executive order because, as you know, the legislative branch doesn't work that way. We work through public testimony. We work through through legislation and setting policy.
I know that on both sides of the aisle here, there's not going to be a whole lot of pushback against good faith efforts to make government more efficient, whether it's at the federal or state level or whatever. I think most people would agree with that. Is this particular committee, is it a bipartisan committee? Do you have bipartisan support on it?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's right. This isn't Republican or Democrat. This is Missourians working together to identify what Missouri could do better. And interestingly, on the portal, a lot of the kinds of comments that we're getting in from the public are also confused about who's doing what. And so we are getting federal complaints. We're getting complaints about local municipalities or counties. We're getting complaints about office holders sometimes, or even particular legislation. And I'm really, frankly, sympathetic to Missourians who are kind of confused because the national effort, or really the national politics, kind of takes all the air out of the room, most conversations around what's going on in government. And so it can be kind of tricky to keep track of who's doing what.
How many people and who are sifting through the Doge portal submissions? Because I know you guys have received thousands of submissions, a lot of them perhaps not substantive or irrelevant. I know the script to the B movie was sent several times. I know there's been a lot of support for abortion rights or dealing with Amendment 3. So who's sifting through this and how many people are on it?
Yeah, so two things. Every single member of the committee has the option of having those emails sent directly to their offices. Honestly, as I'm saying this, I don't remember which senators opted in and which senators said, no, it's fine, your office can handle it. So my office is handling it. Trevor in my office is doing most of that work as a first blush. And then we're reviewing that as a team and making sure. So, for example, every week, there's a new spreadsheet that's distributed to every member of the committee in case some offices don't want to sift through all of those emails. We're taking what we think are the most, are the substantive responses. And then we're saving and making available to the public if anybody has any questions. Like you said, some of those are the B movie or whatever. So they can look through and see, okay, yeah, we agree with Mary Elizabeth's office and her staff on how we sorted those through. Or if they disagree, they can see all of those. But every single member of the committee has access to all of the records. Every member of the public has access to the records. The summary really is just about trying to be, frankly, a little more efficient as we're trying to wade through what is and isn't a priority. Because, again, it's really important that the public has an ability to interact and can weigh in. But just because you get more complaints about an idea or a topic doesn't mean that's actually the one that we should really be focusing on. That's a decision the committee is going to be making as a whole and saying, yeah, actually only one person complained about X, but that is a real concern. Let's go ahead and have a conversation about that. Right now, we're getting a lot of complaints about the way that the Missouri Conservation Department manages chronic wasting disease in our deer population. I think that's important to hunters and to sportsmen across the state, but I don't know that that is necessarily the highest priority of everybody in the committee. So we're going to look at it because people are complaining about it, and we're going to see what we can do to better understand how those rules came about and whether there needs to be a change in policy, but probably not going to be the focus of most of our efforts. We're working right now on looking at, we just got a list of over 500 pages from the Office of Administration about all government buildings in the state of Missouri, what their vacancy rates are, what their utilization rates are looking like. And then we're going to be creating legislation to allow the governor to sell properties that we're no longer using rather than just holding on to this unproductive property. We are looking at abandoned funds. So there was a fund that was created by legislation to be used for a specific purpose. At some point, the state has stopped doing that thing. And so then you just have, right now, we have found $7.5 million just sitting there, not being used for taxpayers or not returned to taxpayers. And so those are we're working with the governor's office on the return to work policy. What makes sense about remote working? who should be remote working and who shouldn't be. So, we're kind of walking and chewing gum at the same time.
Visiting with Missouri State Senator Mary Elizabeth Coleman, Republican out of District 22 here. And not everybody is on board with this, Senator. As you know, of course, Kathy Steinhoff is a representative, and she spoke to KMIZ, and she had this to say. I want to play it and then want to get your response.
I'm just not super optimistic that it's going to lead to big, massive savings without damaging some serious services to people. The role of our big budget at the state or the national level is that we as a society need to have a way to function. Not only do we have to have things like roads and bridges and schools, we've kind of been committed to taking care of our most vulnerable population.
Senator, just wanted to hear what you had to say about that.
I don't hear anything to disagree with, that we have a commitment to take care of the most vulnerable people and that we need to make sure that government is working for taxpayers. I don't share her skepticism that it's not worth elected representatives making sure that the bureaucrats are running the systems the way that they should be and that they're well designed. I think that it is in the benefit of everybody to try to make sure that we're delivering services at a high level and efficiently. But, I don't think that there's anything wrong with her saying we should keep our commitments. Of course, we should keep our commitments.
So I guess I have a question then, which would be, why did you go with the name Missouri DOGE, which obviously
Department of Government Efficiency?
Yes, because I know it mimics the name given by like Elon Musk and Donald Trump. But as we said, like bipartisan, people want to be more efficient in government. But I think the big pushback against DOGE itself is the mass layoffs. They're not gathering information, researching, they're just layoff. Whereas in Missouri, it seems to be you are trying to do that research. So why that name DOGE when the manner, which seems to be the most controversial issue, is not shared?
Well, I guess what I would say is that we agree that the DOGE kind of head name came out in early January, and I think government efficiency is something that we all want to strive towards. And the complaints about the layoffs, in particular at the national level with Musk, are really kind of materializing in the last 10 to 14 days. And so I think that, I guess I don't think there's anything wrong with the title. We're all focusing on government efficiency, and it's kind of interesting because before there was Elon Musk, there was President Clinton, who had a massive plan. And actually, I was just reading a FOIA, which is the Freedom of Information Act, outlines about that effort. And before him, there was another one of these. So I think that what you see is really probably about every 20 years, there's a recognition by the public, like, hey, we really got to take a good look at this. And so even the mass firings that you're talking about nationally, frankly, President Clinton was talking about reducing the government workforce by 10% in those documents back then. And so I think sometimes whether something is seen as partisan or not, it's more to do with who's doing it and when it's being done rather than what is actually happening.
Senator Mary Elizabeth Coleman is with us on KMOX. And we have a listener who texted in who is making the argument that there are actually a lot of services in the state of Missouri that are underfunded, education, childcare, that sort of thing. So how do you go about tackling that problem? Because I think a lot of people would have that same argument that not everything is inefficient and maybe needs more investment, in fact.
Yeah, I do agree that not everything is inefficient and that some things do need more investment. In fact, one of the bills that I'm working on outside of DOGE, but under my hat representing Jefferson County, is working on trying to figure out what our taxing system is. Missouri has one of the most progressive, convoluted taxing systems of any state in the country. Our $9,000 highest income tax bracket is one of the very lowest in the country. It hasn't changed since 1931 when it was implemented. And at that point, the average per capita, salary or income rather was $487. So we're taxing people at a very, very high rate. And when you look at the tax rates and the states, the way that they set up their systems, states that don't have an income tax but are taxing things in a different way, have more stable revenue. They have more money for essential services. They aren't seeing the variation in whether there is money to fund the state or not. And so one of the ways in which, and it's a big idea, but we have 2,500 taxing districts in the state of Missouri, taxing up to 5 different entities. And there's only 13,000 taxing entities across the country. So almost 1 in 5 are here in the state of Missouri. Nobody would build the system that we have built. We've just kind of over the last 80 years continued to inherit. And so I do think there is room to do big things to build a system that makes more sense, that has more stability in tax revenue, that makes sure that we have money for the most vulnerable in our communities. And we can do some really big things in that. But I don't know that that's necessarily a Missouri DOJ question necessarily, but a Missourian's problem. It's just a different part of the work that I'm doing.
Sure. Also, another thing I wanted to ask you about before we said goodbye here, you had introduced a bill to rename parts of highways in the state, though it wouldn't be all the way up to St. Louis, to rename them Donald J. Trump highways. Why did you?
Yeah, I've done that. I've been filing that for many, many years.
Yeah.
It's kind of a standard honor that many presidents have, and Missourians have by and large voted for President Trump. And I think it's a nice thing to do.
Okay. Appreciate the answer on that. Mary Elizabeth Coleman, we appreciate your time. Thank you for visiting with us today.
Back on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
We get it for sure. It gets crazy over there. We appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
All right, you too.
That is Mary Elizabeth Coleman out of District 22.
Yeah, I think I asked about the name primarily because I think the name because of its Doge associated with Elon Musk is divisive, and this is pretty different. It's really just an expansion on the portal that already existed. So you know what I mean? If there's going to be bipartisan support, I would have maybe just named
Called it something different.
Yeah, maybe something not quite, because when you think of Doge, I'm thinking of mass layoffs.
That's what it sounds like.
Yes,
and
I don't.
That.
It's not that.
And again, I don't like playing to the national narrative. I personally am not a fan of that.
But again, it's just an expansion of the portal that was there.
Amy Marks Kors, Chris Ranji. When we come back, did you see this?
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Hey, it's Matt Pauley. I'm in Jupiter, Florida, covering Cardinals spring training as the Redbirds get ready for a new season. Hear my reports mornings and afternoons, as well as evenings on a Graybar Sports Open Line.
Get everything you need to know about what's happening at Redbirds Camp with the Cardinals Spring Training Reports. Sponsored by St. Louis Composting, Wilkie Window and Door, and Norm's Bargain Barn. On your home of the St. Louis Cardinals, KMOX.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
From the very first phone call till they wipe down your brand new bathroom, it's going to be nothing but courtesy, professionalism with Michael's Baths. Hey guys, Dave Glover here with my friends at Michael's Baths. So they are completely local. They only do bathroom remodeling. They're sort of like Bath Fitter and 3-Day Kitchen and Bath and Jacuzzi, except they're 30 to 50% less than they are. They have total professional craftspeople who are putting in your bathrooms. If you are a veteran, you can get one for absolutely free. 636-775-0800 or michaelsbaths.com.
After almost 30 years, Lacefield Music is closing their location at South County Mall forever, and everything must go. Hi, this is Kathy from Lacefield Music, and lack of mall traffic has forced Lacefield Music to make this very difficult decision. But what an incredible opportunity for anyone who is searching for a piano. Save big on Yamaha pianos, keyboards, Lowry organs, and all the top brands of pianos. Also, up to 80% off sheet music and accessories during our South County Mall closing sale. All the pianos are at rock bottom prices. Many pianos are one of a kind, but once they're gone, they're gone. Oh, and don't worry, our Chesterfield location is here to stay and will remain open to serve all of your musical needs. Rush in today before the South County store closes for good and take advantage of massive discounts. South County, we thank you for all the years of support and great memories. Remember, Chesterfield will remain open for all of your piano and musical needs.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friends Mark and Neil Gelman from the Gelman team of eXp Realty. Selling your home, every situation is unique. Find the best options that are right for you from the real estate team who offer more options. 314-336-1991. Go to thegelmanteam.com.
There's no better time to give your body nutritional support with Neovitin than right now. Start the new year off right with Neovitin 50 Plus multivitamins. Neovitin 50 Plus multivitamins give you a nutritional base with B vitamins to support energy, vitamins A and C for immune support, and our physician-formulated proprietary 4-ingredient blend for daily support that you won't find in any other multivitamin. Find Neovitin at your local Schnucks, Deerbergs, and online at neovitin.com.
I'm Joe Pott. This is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Now, did you see this? With Chris and Amy.
All right, I want to get your thoughts on this, Ron. You're a sports guy. You're also obnoxious.
You know, I'm giving up sports.
Good. Stick to politics. That's what they told him. Stick to politics.
Yeah, when I start talking about sports, like, stick to politics.
All right, so the mayor of Seattle, Bruce Harrell, I think it's Harrell, he had a State of the City address last night. It was a pretty long address. And at one point in the middle of the speech, he paused and said, I have an announcement to make. He reached behind the podium, and he held up a basketball. The crowd gasped.
Oh, no.
The crowd got excited.
Yeah.
He smiled, and he goes, no, I'm just kidding. I just need to take a break. He was pretending
that they were getting a basketball team.
NBA
Oh,
team.
my God.
Can you imagine?
Oh. Vote him out.
Vote him
Oh, my
out.
God. I'm telling you,
How
dude.
mad would you be?
I would be livid.
Livid.
Livid. Yeah. If Mayor Jones held a press conference and did that to me,
yeah,
that's it. We're finished. We are finished here. All of us are finished. You cannot tease people with the team.
Remember the Seattle Sonics,
the Supersonics.
They left for Oklahoma City in 2008. So they are the OKC Thunder.
They're pretty good.
So imagine that Mayor Tashara Jones is giving a speech, and she said, I have an important announcement to make. Reaches down, holds up a football.
Oh, my God.
Lets the crowd go
God.
insane, and then says, I'm just joking. Oh, my God.
I can't.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, I can't.
I'm offended for the city of Seattle, and
Me
I don't
too.
even have any particular affinity for the city of
You cannot do
Seattle.
that. You cannot do that to people.
Oh, my gosh, that makes my heart
That
sad.
is the equivalent of, you've seen like Christmas morning videos of kids opening a present, and it's in a PlayStation 5 box, and they lose their minds, and then they open it up, and there are like socks inside.
Oh, I hate that.
That's
mean.
what that is like.
There, I will say this: there was a couple that gave their kids like an anagram, a bunch of Scrabble letters to figure out what their present is, and it was supposed to be "We are going to Disney," but they got stuck, and it just said, "We are going to die." And they had extra letters left because they did die instead of Disney. And they're like, yeah, my kids got stuck. So we had to step in and tell them, no, we're not going to die. We're going to Disney.
Amy, did you
Yes.
see that Egypt has announced the discovery of a royal tomb for the first time since Tutankhamun?
That's a long
You remember
time ago.
King Tut?
I do remember.
You've heard about King Tut.
He
So
gave
it's been
his life for tourism.
That's exactly what Steve Martin said. On Tuesday, Egypt announced that they have
Yeah.
discovered the tomb of King Thutmose II,
So King
the last of the lost tombs of the kings of ancient Egypt's 18th dynasty,
Is
which
it
reigned over 2 centuries between about 1550 BC and 1292 BC.
1550 BC and 1292.
So King
BC.
Tut was discovered in 1922.
That would be right around the time of Moses and the Israelites in captivity in Egypt between 15 and 12. That's insane.
Yeah, they discovered
Wow.
Thutmose II's tomb in the Mount of Thebes area,
Are you sure it's
west of Luxor and the renowned Valley of the Kings.
Thutmose and not Thutmose?
I think it's
Because it's
Thutmose.
Greta Thunberg.
Well, that's a different area of the world.
What about King Tut?
But it's pronounced Thebes also.
That's true.
So, yeah. How about that? They found a...
I love
I hope it
ancient
goes on
history.
tour.
I love ancient
I hope
history.
Thutmose goes on tour and they bring him to St. Louis. And we can have him in studio.
He gave his life for tourism.
That's
One of the
Amy Mark
greatest lines.
Scores. I'm Chris Ranji. You've got KMOX.
To have a roof over your head, a nice roof over your head, is very important.
That's Rick talking about his experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago, and they're very cooperative on getting us the right paint. They're in and out and done in no time. Once it was finished, looked great. We were very happy with it.
The main reason Rick called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by a 25-year transferable warranty.
We've watched a lot of people get their house painted 3 or 4 times, and we haven't had to do any of it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to paint it every 5-7 years.
Take a tip from Rick and put down the paintbrush and call Rhino Shield for your free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago. Financially makes sense, especially if it's going to last like this did. Still looks great.
Call now. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
Don't paint, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-885-1010. 800-885-1010. Again, that's 800-885-1010.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The home of the Cardinals, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Are you looking for a place to call home without all the maintenance of a home? Check out the Towns of Linneman. New townhomes by Lombardo Homes, located in St. Peters. These luxury new construction townhomes are located on the south side of Route 36494, east of Harvester Road, and offer floor plans featuring 2 to 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, a loft, and 2-car attached garages. The multi-million-dollar amenity package includes a clubhouse, pool, pickleball courts, dog park, children's play area, and walking trails. Visit lombardohomes.com for more information.
An important message from S&L Coins. S&L Coins pays top dollar for your gold and silver coins, old currency, gold-filled jewelry, scrap gold and silver, silver plating, gold and silver bullion. Get a quote with a call to S&L at 544-3600. S&L Coins, 544-3600. Or visit S&L Coins at 9300 Gravois, just east of McKenzie. Open 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 Saturday. Before you sell, call S&L 544-3600.
It is 11:01, and right now downtown at the Arch, we've got clouds. It's 13, feels like 8 degrees. The Missouri State Highway Patrol says to slow down if driving any place today, even as conditions improve. Corporal Dallas Thompson tells KMOX.
A lot of the roadways we're getting down where we can see some pavement, and I think that's kind of given a false sense of security for people, and they're starting to increase their speeds.
Thompson says they've handled numerous crashes where cars or trucks have lost control and crashed into the medians. He also says to refrain from tailgating the car in front of you, since that's also a major contributor to crashes on snow-covered roads.
This just in.
The Missouri Supreme Court sides with the St. Louis County Council on a measure that would give council members the authority to fire department directors. Those directors had challenged Proposition B's place on the April ballot. The county also asked that if the measure stays on the ballot, that the votes not be counted. But the Post-Dispatch was first to report that the Supreme Court decided the measure can move forward. We may be saying goodbye to the long vacant Millennium Hotel.
The Gateway Arch Park Foundation owns the property and has picked a developer to tear down the tall, round building with its rotating restaurant and the rest of it to make way for a $670 million complex where people can shop and live in a high-rise that would be visible from Busch Stadium and the Arch. Cordish Companies, the brain behind Ballpark Village, plans to connect the property enough to where you can walk to the Arch, the riverfront, and the stadium. Plans go for review in front of St. Louis City on February 25th. Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
The Annie Malone Parade is postponed this year to put the money used to hold it toward the services the organization provides. Derek Roberts is the treasurer for the Annie Malone Board and says the parade just wasn't making money.
This move, this strategic plan was to ensure that we're able to still maintain all of our programming. So if we use these funds, we're taking away from programming. And programming is more important right now than us spending that $100,000+ for that one day.
The Annie Malone organization provides a range of social services like family crisis intervention. Trump envoys visit to Ukraine.
It's good to be back in Kyiv again.
Keith Kellogg says it was a chance for good, substantial talks with President Volodymyr Zelensky, a day after President Trump suggested Kyiv's to blame for the war with Russia.
You should have never started it. You could have made a deal.
It's a shift from U.S. policy to isolate Russian leader Vladimir Putin, who says today he'd be pleased to meet with the president. Zelensky, meantime, says Trump is living in a Russian-made disinformation space, and he'd like the U.S. team to be more truthful. Sagar Meghani, Washington.
The KMOX business desk going out on a Saturday night is more expensive.
Rideshare prices climbed at more than twice the rate of inflation last year. That's according to an app developer that tracks earnings for Uber and Lyft drivers. Gridwise also says that if Uber and Lyft prices rise another 7% this year, nearly 3/4 of their customers would cut back on the services if they don't stop using them altogether. Gridwise surveyed 1,000 riders. Tracy Jonke, Bloomberg Radio.
Dow from Stifel's down 83 points to 44,472. We've got a disabled vehicle 370 east at the Missouri River in the right lane. Another stall 6440 going east at 94 in the right lane. And there's a crash on 270 going south at 55 south. It's just on the right shoulder.
Brisket quite cold this afternoon with clouds, some sun, and a passing flurry, high 17. It'll become partly cloudy tonight. Brisket bitterly cold, low near zero with AccuWeather real field temperatures of 10 to 20 below. The record is 4 below from 1885. I'm AccuWeather's Joe Lundberg on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
We've got 13 in St. Peter's and Florissant, also 13 downtown at the Arch, but the feels like is 8. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Use both your KMOX presets when you're in the car. 98.7 FM near the city and 1120 AM further out. 2 buttons for KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Hey, is it cold out?
Really cold.
Scary cold?
But my friend here has hypothermia.
Hypothermia. I wouldn't walk around without a coat in this weather. You'll catch your death of cold. So long.
You'll be fine. Actually, it may not be. Put on a coat. Be very warm. Be as warm as possible. And we hope you are staying that way today. And for the next couple of days before it warms up, starting, I think, later on Friday.
And keep emergency kit in your car, like gloves and hat and coat. All of that because, again, a simple trip to the grocery store could become life-threatening if you were to get stranded.
We have a call. You're welcome to join the show, 314-436-7900. After our conversation with State Senator Mary Elizabeth Coleman, John from South County is with us. Hello, John.
Hi, good morning.
Hi.
Either she's misinformed or she's lying. She said the tax rate hasn't changed since 1931. That's not correct. I'm a retired CPA. For years, the tax rate, you paid $315 on your first $9,000 worth of taxable income, and then it was 6% after that. Now you pay $248 on your taxable income for the first $8,911, and it's 4.8% after that. I don't remember when they changed it, but it was at higher rate for years, but they did change it.
Yeah. So I would say this, that my understanding, and we appreciate the phone call, John. My understanding is that from looking at, and it depends on where you look, but it's all about the same, no matter what the resource is. But the state of Missouri, in terms of tax burden compared to other states in the country, really not that bad. Because we complain about the property taxes and all of that stuff, but compared to what other states pay, it's really not very high.
Like I said, St. Louis, I get it, not a sexy city. I say this as a lifelong St. Louisan who's still here. I get it, not a sexy city. We're not Miami, we're not San Francisco, but do you know what? It's so relatively easy to live here, and traffic, cost, all of that. Okay, Ron, yesterday I brought up Hagen Scotton, who was the attorney who he was a lead prosecutor on the federal corruption case against Mayor Eric Adams of New York City. And he resigned after Danielle Sassoon, who was the attorney who was on the case with him, the co-prosecutor, in charging Mayor Eric Adams for corruption. And again, I don't have to break that all down again. We know his story, Mayor Eric Adams, and so forth. So I wanted to go back to Hagen Scotton's resignation letter, because again, here is a man who served 3 combat tours in Iraq as a U.S. Army Special Forces officer. He earned 2 Bronze Stars. He graduated from Harvard Law School. He clerked for Chief Justice John Roberts and for Brett Kavanaugh. And so he has credentials for days, as did Danielle Sassoon, who was a member of the Federalist Society and also clerked for Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia. But this is what Hagen Scotton said, and I want to look at the point that he's making about the rule of law. Now, he says that people think he might be resigning because he's against Trump. So that's not true. Here's what he said. Some will view the mistake you're committing here in light of the generally negative views of the new administration, meaning Trump. I do not share those views. I can even understand how a chief executive whose background is in business and politics might see the contemplated dismissal with leverage as a good, if distasteful deal, saying he understands where President Trump is coming from. He can see why Trump might want to dismiss the charges against Eric Adams. But here's where he throws down the gauntlet. Quote, but any assistant U.S. attorney who would know that our laws and traditions do not allow using the prosecutorial power to influence other citizens much less elected officials in this way. If no lawyer within earshot of the president is willing to give him that advice, then I expect you will eventually find someone who is enough of a fool or enough of a coward to file your motion to dismiss Eric Adams' charges. But it was never going to be me. Please consider this my resignation. It has been an honor to serve as a prosecutor in the Southern District of New York. That you may find someone who's enough of a fool or a coward, but it was never going to be me, is so poignant, Ranj, because again, this resignation does not help his career. It doesn't help Danielle Sassoon's career, because what they would then go on to be is lawyers who would need to have good relationships with the current administration and those in power. And they don't. Some legal experts have said, at least for the time being, these two are unhireable because of this. But they took a stand doing the right thing, saying, we can't dismiss charges against someone who committed a crime. We have evidence, ample evidence that they committed this crime, dismiss them because of what they said would be effective quid pro quo. I'll dismiss your charges if you help me out when it comes to immigration. And we've talked about this over and over, Ranj, how with Elon Musk and Donald Trump, right? Let's say you love what they're doing.
Right.
But they're bulldozing the process. They're bulldozing the institution. And all I think is, man, Trump's not going to be president forever. And what if it's President AOC and she brings in George Soros to be her Elon Musk?
Well, I would say this.
What do you do then?
What if it was Biden or Harris having a sit-down interview together with Bill Gates?
Yeah.
Or some other wealthy person who is a liberal, a Mark Cuban, for example. How would you feel about that? I think you'd be. I don't think you'd be comfortable with what is going on here. Look, you can like Donald Trump, you can dislike him. It doesn't really matter to me. I think my problem with most people is not being able to separate their like of the person or love of the person with some of the things that person is doing that you would otherwise find you would have a problem with. Right? If this were anybody else, you would have a problem with it. But because you like this guy so much, you cannot bring yourself to criticize them. And we get that sometimes. You are very much a conservative. It's not even close. You're a conservative person, Christian, homeschooled. You mention that a lot. You've never really done anything but vote Republican your entire life. I'm on the other side. It doesn't really matter, though. You have to be able to criticize people who are in your party if they do something that is worthy of it. You have to. And that is the thing that bothers me with this, because more than any other time, I feel like we're in this situation where if you say anything that's even remotely critical of something that's being done, even when objectively it's not good, people say, "Oh, you just hate Trump. You hate Trump. You can't stop hating on Trump." It's not. Just pay attention to what's happening here. You can like the person. You can like the fact he's the president, and that's okay if you do. But you should also be able to think critically, too, and that not everything he does you would be happy with if somebody else were doing the exact same thing.
This exact point has been made by a lot of legal scholars. It was most recently brought up by Sarah Isgur. So I want to make this point, but you know how Donald Trump quoted Napoleon Bonaparte right before Napoleon declared himself emperor?
Yeah,
he who saves his country does not violate any law.
Right.
I'm going to do what it takes.
Okay, what if Joe Biden said that?
Right. And so this actually, I don't know if you've read the book or seen the play A Man for All Seasons about Thomas More. And this goes, back centuries. But basically, Thomas More was saying the rule of law is so important, he would give the devil the benefit of a law. And William Roper in this book is asking Thomas More, he said, so now you give the devil the benefit of the law? And Thomas More said, yes. What would you do? Cut a great road through the law to get after the devil? William Roper, yes, I'd cut down every law in England to do that. Here's the key here, what we're talking about. Sir Thomas More. Oh, and when the last law was down and the devil turned round on you, where would you hide, Roper? The laws all being flat. This country is planted thick with laws from coast to coast, man's laws, not God's. And if you cut them down and you're just the man to do it, do you really think you could stand upright in the winds that would blow then? Yes, I'd give the devil the benefit of law for my own safety's sake. That's what we're talking about here. You can't say, well, my cause is so righteous and so good. I will bulldoze the law to get after the devil himself. Because again, when the devil turns round on you, whether that is the Democrats or whoever it may be, or the Republicans, how will you stand up against them? Because you have laid the laws of the land flat. I think that is so pertinent to what we're seeing right now.
It's just about treating both sides here with fairness. And I think people mistake fairness with being completely impartial or okay, let's put it this way. I think that a lot of people, if it is their side getting criticized, they automatically think it is unfair, that they're being unfair. And to me, fairness means, are we being truthful when we're laying these criticisms out, whether it's of Donald Trump or Joe Biden or Kamala Harris or whatever it is? Are we being unfair to them? Are we misrepresenting what they're thinking and what they're doing? That to me is the most important thing. I don't think that any time that you and I have talked about him as a president, I don't think we've been unfair. I don't think we've misrepresented what he's saying or what he has attempted to do or trying to do. And to me, that's the most important thing. You can like him, you can dislike him, you can think he's the worst person on earth, you can think he's a savior. Whatever it is, you need to think critically about what's going on. And for a lot of people, what's been happening the last few weeks is not especially good. There are others who think everything he's doing is great. That this whole Doge thing is fantastic. And, a potential quid pro quo with Eric Adams is okay too, because the end game is for him to, go along with ICE orders or help them out in deporting people, right? You can think that's good, but it can't be done by any means necessary.
Well, and I think, again, just to bring up this point too, with Major Garrett, CBS Chief Washington correspondent, after Joe Biden issued his preemptive pardons and he pardoned his son Hunter,
Major was all over him.
He was pretty
I don't
livid.
like it either.
He was pretty livid, saying, how can Joe Biden claim that Trump's a threat to democracy? And then Joe Biden, to paraphrase Thomas More, laid flat the laws of the land in that area. Because once you lay those laws flat,
that's right.
When your opposition turns against you, there's nothing standing there. And so, like I said, just to show that I was upset with certain things that Trump has done, I'm upset with certain things that Biden has done. And I think Major Garrett was pretty upset about what Biden did. So again, that to me is seeing the law of the land and saying we have to respect it. The ends does not justify the means.
You can think that whatever happened with Hunter Biden was over the top, that they pursued it the way they would not pursue any other person. You can think that, and maybe that's true. Still don't like what Joe Biden did. Still don't like him pardoning his son, especially after saying he would not do it for all that time. I hate it. He shouldn't have done it, but he did, and it set a very bad precedent. Amy Marks Kors, Chris Ranji, tell us what you think, as always, 314-436-7900, or drop us a voice message on the Odyssey app.
How many of you think that taxes are going to go up in the future? And if they do, who will be hit the hardest? Maybe it's you, headed for retirement. You've been saving in that 401k or IRA, and that money has never been taxed. And Uncle Sam is looking at that account like it's a big, juicy steak. What can you do about it? Join the All Financial Group for their Taxes in Retirement Seminar, Tuesday, March 4th or Thursday, March 6th at Cooper's Hawk. They believe you can't have a retirement plan without a tax plan. Fund your retirement, not Uncle Sam's. Reserve your spot today by calling 636-230-8824. That's 636-230-8824, or go to yourmoneymattersstl.com. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
Need a lawyer? Onder wins. Call Onder Law at 314-9-million. That's 314-9 all zeros. Or go to onderwins.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898, 800-700-6898, or biglou.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
If you can plan barbecues and weddings, you can plan to protect yourself from a natural disaster. Sign up for local alerts, prepare an emergency kit, and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Trust Will knows that we'll all eventually need a will. How about right now? Trust Will makes creating your will easy, like while you're lounging on the couch easy. Trust Will is designed by attorneys but customized by you, and all documents are state-specific and secure. Find your plan at trustandwill.com and use offer code RADIO now for 10% off. That's trustandwill.com, offer code RADIO. Trust Will is an online estate planning service. Visit trustandwill.com for details.
News, talk, and the heartbeat of St. Louis. This is KMOX.
It's Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji on KMOX. We're going to check in with Cardinals spring training. Matt Pauley will join us from Florida after the 11:30 news, and also the big news about the Millennium Hotel downtown. Getting closer to something being done with that just absolute waste of perfectly good space. And it looks like a good thing is going to happen, hopefully.
So that's not a prairie preservation spot, the top of the Millennium Hotel?
No, but I am going to ask if I can have the weeds when Ryan McClure and Mike LaMartina come in.
You don't get the weeds. I mean,
if
all
I don't,
hell's going to break loose.
If I don't get the weeds, I'm going to burn down the new building.
My gosh,
right.
Don't say that. He's joking, folks. He's joking.
Am I?
Oh, my gosh.
Let's go to Glenn Carbon and talk to Tom with us on KMOX. What's up, Tom?
Good morning. I'd like to compliment Amy for citing A Man for All Seasons. It's one of my favorite movies. Of course, the question is, did Moore really say that? Or is
right.
that just good screenplay? The stuff in the court scenes toward the end, there would have been some witnesses for that. So
well,
I think that's pretty accurate.
It's a artistic license, right? Is that what we call it?
Well, yeah, I mean, but it did win Best Picture Oscar, and I think Schofield won Best Actor for his portrayal of Moore. So,
well, thank you so much, John. And like I said, brought again to mind by Sarah Isgur. She's a great legal analyst. You can follow her on Twitter at Sarah Isgur, ISGUR. Credit to her.
Godfrey, Illinois. I know Godfrey. Kim is with us. Hi, Kim.
Yes, I just wanted to make a comment that a good way to waste taxpayers' money because of the Missouri Doge situation is renaming streets. Renaming streets costs money.
It does cost money. I don't know how much it costs.
Great question is how much does that cost?
That's a great one
Is it
because
like-
you have to replace all the street signs if it's in any sort of official documents or whatever. You got to change those.
Also, I think we need to figure out about, did you say on air or off air about someone needs to be dead for 2 years? Because someone said that's not true.
And this is correct. And I should have said this to her. But when we interviewed Mary Elizabeth Coleman, a texter had said, why did you not ask her why she'd be trying to bypass MoDOT's own restrictions that a person needs to be deceased for 2 years before trying to name a highway after them? And that is true. The Missouri Department of Transportation, that is their current rule, is that if they do rename a highway, and in Mary Elizabeth Coleman's case, she wants to rename parts of highways in Missouri to Donald J. Trump Highway.
Is that
they're supposed to be dead for 2 years
true?
first?
And is that true? Because I just talked to someone. We had a contradictory statement that was not true. Now I know it. I don't know if it depends.
Who said that?
I don't know if it depends on certain highways versus boulevards and roads, because we know Barack Obama Avenue is right over there in the Metro East. You hear about it all the time with Roger Brand talking about Barack Obama Avenue. And so I don't know how it is about highways. I also don't know how that applies or does not apply to residents.
On Missouri Department of Transportation's website, the Memorial Highway and Bridge Program, this is on their website. It does say toward the bottom that honorees shall be deceased for minimum of 2 years.
For highways.
Yes.
Yes.
So this doesn't, I don't think this has anything to do with individual city streets.
Okay.
Which a city street department would take care of that. This is for the entire, for the highway system.
Yes.
It's completely different. So I suppose by
Now we
rule
gotta have
right
her
now,
on again.
we have to, we would
Three
have,
times.
yes, Trump, we cannot rename, according to these rules, we cannot name any highways in Missouri after Donald Trump.
Ronch, I'm disappointed in you that you weren't more familiar with the Missouri Department of Transportation rules.
I should have known.
You should have known
because
this.
I suggested a bill to name a highway after me.
Yes, the Chris Ranji Memorial Highway.
Right.
We're getting the paperwork done early because, it takes a while.
Yeah.
So we're starting it while you're still alive.
Yeah.
Then when you die, I'll give the most moving eulogy and then unveil the new highway sign.
Oh
my gosh.
What a great idea.
Wow, this is so moving. This is going to be the most amazing funeral of all time.
Now I might cry.
I feel teary.
Let's see what's happening in Cardinals spring training in Jupiter, Florida. Matt Pauley visits us next on the Chris and Amy Show.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight. This month we are focusing on National Cancer Prevention Month. And joining us is Dr. Graham Kolditz, Associate Director at Siteman Cancer Center.
More than half of cancer is preventable by literally changing the way we live, whether it's how we eat, drink, exercise, have vaccines, have screenings.
Special thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, go to siteman.wustl.edu.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars. Lose the weight and stop smoking. Early bird specials, $49.99. Seminar Sunday, March 16th, Aviator Hotel and Suites, South I-55, St. Louis. Weight loss, 11 a.m. Stop smoking seminar, 2 p.m. Or Monday, March 17th, 4 Point Sheraton, St. Louis. Fairview Heights. Weight loss, 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar, 8 p.m.
Don't miss Mosby Building Arts Home Improvement Shows, Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on KMOX. One of the last call-in shows where you can get live answers to your remodeling, design, and construction questions. Tune in Saturdays at 11 a.m.
At 11:30, it's partly cloudy and 14 degrees downtown at the Arch. President Trump and his head of the Department of Governmental Efficiency, Elon Musk, in a joint interview with Fox News, provided some insight into Doge's operation with the federal government. CBS News White House correspondent Nancy Cordes.
President Trump, interestingly, said he relies on Musk very heavily to actually get things done. He says when he issues an executive order, it is Musk who actually makes sure that those executive orders get implemented at the various agencies.
Want to be a good club this year, they have to be much better than they were last year when it comes to scoring runs. To do that, they have to be much better than a club that hit just .229 with runners in scoring position last season. Manager Oliver Marmol says that's a priority of spring.
It was a little bit of the downfall of our season, right? So the conversations with Brownie, Packy, and BA, and then our group of players, it's been productive up to this point, but that will be a point of emphasis of understanding like we have to find different ways to win. We can't just count on one way of winning, and that's really approach driven. So it's something we're constantly talking about.
This spring training report is brought to you by St. Louis Composting, growing gardens and making memories, and by Norm's Bargain Barn and Wilkie Window and Door. In Jupiter, Florida at Cardinal Spring Training, Matt Pauley, KMOX Sports.
Crash on 70 going east at Adelaide. The right lane is closed. And for this afternoon, we've got cold clouds, some sun, and a passing flurry with a high temperature of 17 degrees. For tonight, partly cloudy, brisk, and cold with a low not far from zero. Real field temperatures are going to be 10 to 20 degrees below zero. The record -4 set in 1885. And for tomorrow, breezy, frigid with times of clouds and sun and a high of 20. Right now, 15, feels like 8 downtown. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
When you have Rhino Shield on your house, it does a couple of things for you. It beautifies the house, and it protects it from the harshest elements. And boy, do we see those here in the greater St. Louis area. You get instant curb appeal. It will stick to anything. Rhino Shield is the answer, no matter whether you're painting a home or a church or a business or a condo, because it's 100% waterproof. It takes care of the outdoor maintenance on whatever is on the outside of your home. The brick, the block, aluminum, steel, stucco. They can put this on with the 2 to 3 coat process. They're there about a week, and they do a great job. A lot of businesses have done it in the area. Several Firestones have done that. Vantage Credit Union over the years, Harlan Packaging down in DeSoto. Call Darren today and schedule your free estimate. 877-25-RHINO, easy to remember phone number, or go online today at 877-25-RHINO.com.
Zero Res wants to give your home the love and attention it deserves. For the month of love, get 3 rooms cleaned starting at just $119, plus a 4th room clean for free, and take $75 off your air duct cleaning. Call 314-474-2020, ZeroResSTL.com. Say you heard about it on KMOX.
Before the flowers bloom and the temperatures warm, the first signs of spring are about to begin.
Now the pitch.
Cardinals baseball is back.
And there's a shot up the middle. It's flagged by Sajasi. His throw, the stretch. They
Spring training is underway, and the Redbirds hit the field for the first time this Saturday as they face the Marlins at noon. And you can hear the game here. What a play! Cardinals baseball is back.
I'm Ollie Marmol. Your home of the Cardinals is KMOX.
3-2 delivery on its way. Swing and a high drive to center field. Get up, baby. Get up, baby. Get up. Oh, yeah. David Freese has just sent us into game number 7. This series is tied. The Cardinals win it 10-9.
Yo, Paulie!
Paulie's a great name.
Yo, Paulie! What'd you do for Paulie? Anything? Me, Paulie! I was responsible!
Paulie, we're here because of you.
Yep. Cardinals in spring training now, and they're just a couple of days away from baseball. Actual baseball on a field against a team that is not them. Saturday afternoon at 12, right here on KMOX. You can hear the Cardinals take on the Marlins and the Odyssey app. If you have the Odyssey app, you can listen to it there as well. We go to the guest line today. Every Monday and Wednesday, we talk to Matt Pauley, who is our sports fella, host of Sports Open Line and Countdown to Opening Day shows, which are going on until the regular season starts. Hello, Matt.
Hello.
So David Freese in camp today.
Yeah, so that had been announced, I believe, at the winter meetings that he would come in and be a guest instructor for a little while. So, lots of alumni here walking around and doing things, including David Freese.
What does that look like for a guest instructor? Is he literally floating around? Players come up to him? Is it something that's a little bit more structured?
Yeah, I mean, during like live BP sessions, he's floating around a little bit when they're actually working on, skill drills. He's going to go work with the infielders and do things like that. He's available to guys here early, stays until the end. But he's kind of all over the place and just available in whatever way that the Cardinals need him and whatever way players need him.
Do you see players often go up to guys like that or to Ozzie Smith or to whomever?
Yeah, absolutely. Ozzie is always a presence here. He's been here since the first day of camp, and he was working with Nolan Arenado and Thomas Saggese the other day. He and Mason Wynn have spent a lot of time with each other. I think for the most part, when players get onto the field and they see those legendary type players around, I think they're pretty good at going to them and trying to, pick their brain a little bit.
When you're looking at not just going up to say hi or catch up, but going up for instruction, do you see a pattern that it is the younger players, or do you see the veteran guys go up just as much?
Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes when we're talking about the instruction, that's coming during the individual drills. So they're there working with them already. But I think everybody goes up to them. I don't think I don't think Ozzie Smith is here just to work with, Mason Wynn and Thomas Saggese. Same thing with David Freese. These guys are here for everybody. And when you are an athlete of this level, you've gone here for a reason. And part of it is realizing that there's always something to learn. And when there's somebody around that can help you do something better or learn, you're going to take that opportunity.
What is the vibe in camp this year? I know that typically it's, camp is camp and everybody's happy to be there, but is there a little different vibe, if it at all, from what it usually is?
I think it's mostly the campus camp thing. It feels pretty similar. But I also think that, I can't transport myself to other spring trainings I've been at and compare and contrast. I do think that there's this united front of we're better than everybody is saying that we're going to be. And I think that's kind of pulling everybody in the same direction. Now that kumbaya stuff is great on February 19th. Let's see what happens when opening day comes, and then especially as you get into the middle of the season. But for right now, I think the mental approach to this has been really, really good from Oliver Marmol, from his coaching staff, from players, from other staff that's around, just everybody. It's a very, very positive environment.
Yeah, and it seems to that point that you said that we are better than what people think we are. Mason Wynn was talking in that way, saying, hey, we get how people are viewing us this year, but we've got talent, we've got work ethic. They're not looking at it as a throwaway year. Obviously, no player would, but I do think, I think fans don't really, either they don't have expectations or they don't know what their expectations are. But the players are, no, we're here to win.
Yeah, and look, I'm gonna sound like a total homer on what I'm about to say. It's not meant that way. I believe the words that are coming out of my mouth, and I think I'm right. I don't get the overall really negative expectations about this team, like this being a for sure sub 500 team. Now, I'm not telling you that they're a World Series team, a deep playoff team, none of those things. That's not what I'm saying. But the team is largely similar to last year. And last year, they were above 500 team that stuck around in playoff contention and even were in a playoff spot for much of the year. There is no way that they are as bad as they were last year from a run scoring standpoint. That's just not going to happen. So even like the bullpen was fantastic last year. So even if the bullpen takes a step back, which is likely, I mean, they were so good in 1-run games and tight leads in the final 3 innings. Even if you pitch the exact same like skill level this year, there's a chance that that's going to come back. Just
There's a lot of variance with bullpens.
Yeah, right. So that's likely to come back. But what's likely to surge forward is the run scoring. And I think the run scoring more than makes up for any backpedaling you might have in some other areas. So I don't think this is going to be a bad baseball team.
This is a sort of a transitional year for Wilson Contreras, their free agency acquisition from a couple of years ago. They move him from catcher to first base. So he's having to learn to play that position. Apparently he's bulked up a little bit. What
12 pounds?
12 pounds. It's hey,
12 pounds.
That's nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how are you looking at his transitional spring training here?
I think he looks good over at first. Now it's really early and they've yet to play a Grapefruit League game and everything is a drill. So it's you cannot take any sort of like actual takeaways from what you're seeing with him at first base because he knows what's coming. What is it going to look like when it's not a prescribed situation and it's a game situation? We'll start to find that out on Saturday. But in terms of footwork, in terms of looking comfortable, in terms of the athleticism, I think he looks perfectly fine at first base through what I have seen.
Do you have any reservations about him moving to that spot?
I mean, I don't think he's going to be as good as Paul Goldschmidt. I think a lot of baseball fans are going to have more appreciation for just how good defensively Goldschmidt was at first base. But Wilson Contreras' job is to hit home runs, hit doubles, drive in runs, be an all-star caliber bat. That is his job. And if him being a catcher is going to get in the way of him doing that, and the belief that due to injuries and other things, that's partially what was keeping him off the field, then no, I have zero reservations about him moving to first, because you take his offensive profile, he could be a top 4, top 5 offensive first baseman in Major League Baseball. And that's saying something. First base is an offense first position. So Contreras can be an impact bat. I mean, right now, Wilson Contreras' bat is the best bat that the Cardinals have. So give them the opportunity to use it.
Hey, Matt Pauley, wanted to move on from baseball here quickly. We saw earlier this week, and Amy has got a question about college basketball too. There is a very good likelihood that the NCAA tournament, which is coming up here, we're, a little less than a month away from that happening, that they are going to expand, or the thought is they will be expanding from 68 teams to either 72 or maybe up to 76.
Whoa.
What are your thoughts on them expanding the tournament?
Yeah, I love the NCAA basketball tournament, and if they never touch it again, I'm very comfortable with that because it's amazing. I am not going to be offended if they, right now you have you have those first 4 games where you have a couple matchups with those
on that Tuesday.
Seeds.
Yeah.
So if you want to add 2 more games where every single 16 seed has to play another 16 seed as a play-in, and then you want to add 2 more games where the final teams to get in, because that's half of those first 4 games are 16 seeds, and half of those games are the last at-large is in. So if you want to add where all 4 16s have to play each other, or whatever it is, and then all the final, you add more at larges at the bottom end, and they have to play each other as a play-in. That doesn't bother me.
All right, Matt.
Real quick,
yeah.
I just want to mention before Amy gets to her question, that would not be for this year.
Yeah.
They're not talking about it for 2025. It would be in the future. So
Yeah.
that's it.
Yep,
Just want to
yep.
make that point.
Well, and tonight, Mizzou, number 16, Mizzou plays number 4 Alabama, hosts Alabama in Columbia. This is the toughest game they have left on their schedule. Should be a good game. Do you see any meaning behind this game as far as Mizzou's hope in the tournament and how they do against Alabama? A tough team.
Well, I mean, they're favored.
Mhm.
They're favored against the number 4 team in the nation. So that's pretty notable that Mizzou is favored against the
Yeah.
number 4 team in the nation. This is going to impact seeding for the tournament because this is an opportunity for them to get a good resume win. This has no impact on their ability to get into the tournament. They are a tournament team. But yeah, this is a big game tonight, a chance to knock off a top 5 team. And you do that tonight, that's really going to help you when it comes to tournament seeding time.
Yeah, and the Fighting Illini just kind of got pounded pretty
It was
badly
ugly,
by
yeah.
Wisconsin. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, that was bad.
20-point loss,
Illinois was
21
dealing
point.
they were dealing with some pretty bad illness going through the team as well. Coach Underwood mentioned that after the game that
Yeah.
in his 35 years of coaching, he's never seen what his team is dealing with right now from an illness. That's why they didn't do a handshake line.
That's
people are
right.
trying to
So
make a big
that's
deal.
yeah, that's what I was going to bring that up. And I meant to mention it to Amy today too, that they did not do the handshake line, and you saw Brad Underwood go up to the Wisconsin coach and say, "Hey, we're not going to shake hands because all these guys are sick and we don't want to spread it." It wasn't poor sportsmanship,
Yeah.
but I don't think that I've ever seen that happen before.
The no handshake thing?
Yeah, well, for
Because
that
of
reason.
illness.
Okay, because that's been a thing this year. And
For illness?
No, just for other reasons. There's been a few times this year because that's where it kind of became controversial last night because people thought, oh, here's another circumstance of teams not shaking hands, and it was for a very good reason. Credit to Coach Underwood for making that decision and being considerate of the folks at Wisconsin for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and there's been, I don't know if you followed along. There's the discourse about whether or not we even should be doing handshakes after games, which of course we should. It's about sportsmanship. It's about
who cares?
teaching 18 to 22-year-olds how to be men. But yeah, that's been a thing this year.
Wow.
Yeah, don't lick your hand or anything afterwards. That's gross.
But is it
Thanks for
okay?
the advice, Amy.
Let me-
Don't lick. Hey, after you shake people's hands,
Yeah.
here's a handy tip
Listen,
for you.
as-
Don't lick your hand.
As someone who has been the assistant coach of a 5th grade boys CYC team, that admonition to not lick your hand or stick your hands in your mouth is a real thing.
Well,
because that happens.
Also, let me ask the obvious question here. Does it matter that you don't do a handshake line when you just spent all that time touching each other, using
Right.
the same ball, probably putting your hands to your mouth? Does it matter?
I mean,
I think it's too late. Yeah.
you're giving me Vietnam flashbacks to COVID time.
Yeah.
Oh,
right?
yeah. We're
They sh-
fine. We can shake hands because I mean, basketball, you're all up on each other's business anyway.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Licking each other's sweat.
Oh,
It gets in your mouth.
oh.
Well, you guys have their shirts, like they've got sleeveless shirts and
Basketball is so sweaty.
it is
It's
sweaty
so
and gross.
Because at least
Super
with hockey,
gross.
you have all your equipment that the sweat's just on you.
That's right.
Unless you
But
get like
hockey
a
That's
players
right.
smell a lot worse after
they
games
do,
than
and it's like the
basketball
whole
players do.
face wash with the glove. I get it, but basketball is just so slimy and sweaty. It's just, ugh.
Maddie,
Okay.
tell us about Sports Open Line tonight.
Short show. We've got SLU women's basketball tonight. So Bernie Miklas will be on with us at 6:20, and we'll just talk Cardinals baseball.
Awesome. And we will have Bernie Miklas with us tomorrow at 11:30 after the news. Matt
We work
Pauley
that
will.
guy so hard.
Well, but we better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bernie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's supposed to work.
He loves it.
No free ride around here.
That's what my mom used to tell us when my dad would come home from work. He'd work all the time. I'd be like, man, Dad works a lot. She's like, that's okay. He likes it.
See ya, Matt.
Bye.
Yo, Paulie, you sit with me. I'll call you back later. See ya.
Sports Open Line with Matt Pauley tonight at 6 o'clock. There will be plenty of spring training Cardinals coverage in a short show before SLU women's basketball. It's the Chris and Amy show on KMOX.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Hey, it's Matt Pauley. I'm in Jupiter, Florida, covering Cardinal spring training as the Redbirds get ready for a new season. Here are my reports mornings and afternoons, as well as evenings on a Graybar Sports Open Line.
Get everything you need to know about what's happening in Redbirds Camp with the Cardinal Spring Training Reports. Sponsored by St. Louis Composting, Wilkie Window and Door, and Norm's Bargain Barn. On your home of the St. Louis Cardinals, KMOX.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Discover true luxury at Missouri's first and only standalone Genesis dealership, Genesis of St. Charles. Thank you for making us the #1 Genesis dealer in Missouri for 2024. True luxury isn't just built, it's engineered with precision and passion. Explore amazing cutting-edge technology, redefined elegance, and exhilarating performance in the new 25 GV80. A new level of luxury awaits you at Genesis of St. Charles. Visit us in-store or shop genesisofstcharles.com. Based on GMA sales records.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the place for skilled skydiving instructors, accomplished airbrush artists, and proficient pediatricians. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter to hire, you're missing out. ZipRecruiter is the place that's so confident it can make your hiring easier that it lets you try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. So if you want the right candidates for all your roles, ZipRecruiter is the place to go. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
You're leaving for work, but the garage door won't open. Is it the opener? Is the spring broken? Now you're late and your car is trapped. Well, don't panic. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis is here with same-day emergency service. They won't leave you stuck. The original Red Ribbon Garage Door Company, trusted in St. Louis since 1926. Call 314-781-5200 or schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
I'm Megan Lynch. This is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
I just wanted to say that I bought eggs at Aldi's yesterday for $3.49.
Whoa!
Thank you, Linda, man on the street, woman on the street, because we are keeping tabs on your eggs. Not. No,
like the
it's
Republican way.
Not the Republican way. We're not starting a database to see if you're pregnant or not. No, it's not that. We're talking about the eggs that you eat. Republican way.
Sorry, I had to make that joke. It was funny.
It was pretty good.
It was good.
It's one of your best.
No,
So
we're talking about chicken eggs,
we're talking about, yes.
not turkey eggs, which are too hard to get because the turkeys care more.
And
Apparently,
we're actually getting our eggs from Turkey.
we are
the country.
not from turkeys.
That's right. And because it matters, and thank you to Linda, our
Yeah.
woman on the street, for her report, as she is one of our freelance reporters
Yes.
and sent in that message on the Odyssey app in helping us very much in a very important segment we like to call the Egg Beat. Amy,
That's a great price for eggs.
what'd she say? $3?
$3.94, which is almost $4.
That's
Let's not kid ourselves.
But it's still under $4.
It is still under $4.
So this story comes from IFL Science.
IFL Science, the
That's right.
International Football League.
Amy, I don't know what IFL is, and it does not matter. But do you like cake?
I like cake.
Yeah.
I love cake.
Well, because eggs are so expensive,
Yeah.
it may be a little more difficult to make that cake
Mhm.
because maybe you run out of eggs.
Yeah.
Maybe the eggs are too much for you, and it would be impossible to make the cake because you can't afford the eggs. This IFL Science story says you have an alternative.
Can I guess?
Yes.
Yogurt.
Not yogurt. Chia seeds.
Oh, because they like swell up and get slimy?
So apparently, chia seeds are an alternative ingredient that you can use to make a cake. And chia seeds, they contain, according to a study from a few years ago, a healthy omega-3 fatty acid, polyunsaturated fatty acids, dietary fiber, proteins, vitamins, and some minerals. So it is a perfectly good alternative when it is combined with a thing called mucilage,
Ugh.
which is a gooey
I
substance.
think I got that cleaned at Dobbs.
It is.
yesterday.
It's a gooey substance that you combine it with the chia and makes like kind of looks like not egg yolk, but the whites.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like
So
the
wait,
gooey
wait.
egg white.
I've had chia seeds before because you can soak them in a drink, right? Like, and they,
Yeah.
they get a little slimy. Like you can put them in water. What
Yep.
is mucilage?
It
Where do you
is
get
a-
it? I've never heard of mucilage.
It's a gel.
Why would you have mucilage and not eggs?
You have both.
I feel like eggs are easier to find than mucilage.
Eggs are expensive. Chia
We
seeds are
changed
not.
your filter, and your mucilage
Anyway,
also needed to be changed.
This is what IFL Science says. So
I don't believe it.
we will bring the egg beat to you again tomorrow
All right.
with other riveting egg stories. When we come back, massive news in downtown St. Louis. There is a redevelopment plan for the Millennium Hotel. The Gateway Arch Park Foundation's Ryan McClure and Mike LaMartina with Ballpark Village joins us next to tell us what's in store.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/radio, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
Paid for by government. Now is the time to fill your vault with Morgan Silver Bars. Grab your piece of America's silver legacy with this special offer. These spectacular shining silver bars featuring a crisp image of the iconic Morgan Silver Dollar, a legendary coin that has captivated collectors for generations. Call now to secure 1-ounce silver bars minted in 99.9% pure silver and made in the USA. Don't miss out on this special deal. Regularly priced at $49.95, but for a limited time, only $39.95. Save $10 per silver bar. Limit of 25 bars per customer. The more you buy, the more you save. Up to $250 in savings and free shipping on every order. Plus, with qualifying orders, you'll receive a free Morgan Silver Dollar. That's a $59.95 value free. Call 1-800-386-7195 now to secure your 1-ounce Morgan Silver Bars for only $39.95. That's 1-800-386-7195.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The legendary voice of St. Louis, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
During tax season, your info travels lots of places you can't control.
W-2 arriving from payroll platform 3.
Everything criminals need to steal your identity is on your W-2.
Last call for accountant and home office. 1 minute.
LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points per second.
Tax preparation data centers with service to IRS. All aboard.
If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
It is 12 noon in mid-America. This news update is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. We've got some sun. It is 15 degrees downtown at the Arch. President Trump and Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky are trading barbs as relations sour over the Russian war.
In a social media post, the president calls Zelensky a dictator without elections. That came after Zelensky said Trump is being influenced by Russian disinformation by moving to end the war on terms Kyiv says favor Moscow. Ukraine has delayed elections that were scheduled for April due to Russia's invasion nearly 3 years ago. The president yesterday lit into Zelensky for complaining Ukraine was not invited to talks between the U.S. and Russia about ending the war.
Today I heard, we weren't invited. Well, you've been there for 3 years. You should have ended it 3 years. You should have never started it. You could have made a deal.
On the Senate floor,
he was saying that to President Zelensky.
Top Democrat Chuck Schumer.
It's disgusting to see an American president turn against one of our friends and openly side with a thug like Vladimir Putin.
The Russian leader says he wants to meet with the president. Sagar Meghani, Washington.
The National Weather Service says most places in the St. Louis metro received 1 to 3 inches of snow. Chesterfield and Weldon Spring got between 3 and 4. To the south, Farmington received 8.5 inches of snow. To the west, Rolla got 6, and Lake of the Ozarks showed 9 inches. New plans would do away with an iconic part of St. Louis's skyline.
The developers of Ballpark Village have been chosen to press the reset button on the Millennium Hotel site. Cordish companies picked by Gateway Arch Park Foundation to demo the old hotel, stretching connections to Busch Stadium, the Arch, and the river. The $670 million project would include a new high-rise with places to live, shop, and work. The redevelopment plan is scheduled to be reviewed by the city of St. Louis on February 25th. Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
The Trump administration has fired more than 1,000 National Park Service workers.
We're very concerned about the impact that this is going to have at Gateway Arch National Park and all national parks, frankly.
Ryan McClure, executive director of the Gateway Arch Park Foundation, says already staffing shortages in the Park Service. This will further exacerbate issues. He says it's not clear how it will affect operations at the park, but they're getting more visitors than ever.
Last year, we experienced 2.4 million visitors, which is some of our highest visitation in many, many years. Yes, we're seeing record visitation, which makes these personnel concerns really something that we're worried about.
Aside from the firings, a hiring freeze means seasonal job offers have been rescinded. The KMOX business desk in the market for a new home.
Home builders are contending with tariffs, proposed and current, on building supplies, as well as high borrowing costs and homes that are not selling. The government's reporting a sharp slowdown in new housing construction last month. Tracy Jonke, Bloomberg Radio.
The Dow from Stifel's down 151 points to 44,404. And we've got a crash on 44 going west before Route JJW, and also some debris on 44 going east before Jefferson, and a stalled vehicle, disabled vehicle, 70 eastbound before Lindbergh. That's in the right lane.
Clouds and breaks of sun this afternoon. Brisket very cold with a flurry, the high 17. Becoming partly cloudy tonight. Brisket bitterly cold with a low near zero. The record is 4 below from 1885. Tomorrow breezy and frigid with times of sun and clouds, high 20. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Sponsored by Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. We've got 15 in St. Peters and Florissant, also 15 downtown at the Arch, but the feels like is 11. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. We are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and products liability. SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of lawyers and important decisions should not be based solely on advertising.
Mid-America's most trusted voice for news. KMOX.
It's hour 3 of the Chris and Amy show. We had huge news this morning that Millennium Hotel, which is my my favorite spot in the entire city.
It is.
Because it's vacant and it's huge and it's in a perfect spot in the city and something should be there.
And you have asked for multiple years now.
Well, I'm going to get to that.
Are you going to? Okay.
I'm going to get to that.
I just want you to know that his greatest passion project is enveloped in this conversation.
Okay,
Yes.
I can't wait to hear it.
So this is big news because we found out this morning that there is a development plan for the Millennium Hotel. And to talk about that with us, the executive director of Gateway Arch Park Foundation, Ryan McClure, and Mike LaMartina, a friend of the show, with Ballpark Village. This is great, guys. Yeah. We are so excited, first of all, to have you here. Ryan, just heard you in the news. That was cool.
Yeah, it's a little too much Ryan today, if you ask me.
We haven't had enough Ryan yet. Okay, so I'm going to get to my request first. Okay. So when this project starts,
yes,
and this Millennium Hotel comes down, I need you guys to get me those weeds on the roof.
This is not a joke.
I'm
He's been
serious. I
talking
need
about
those-
these weeds.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've been talking about these weeds for years.
He just
because-
needs enough to put in a pot.
Yes, I would like to plant them and keep them. So can I get those weeds?
That is a really interesting. We've been asked a lot of questions today. That was not one of them. But
I can say you're the first state claim.
Yeah, right.
Based on our
dibs.
That counts for something, and this is legally binding now.
Yeah, I'm
because it's on
honestly,
air.
but here's the I'm not hearing a yes.
I know.
How about this? We'll look into it.
Okay.
There's many
That's at least
steps
a
to get
start.
there,
looking
but
into it.
we'll do our best to accommodate.
We'll
your
get our
request.
best people on it.
Yeah.
This is a huge first step. We've seen the renderings. The what would be there looks awesome. So tell us how this came about and what we can expect and the first steps.
Yeah. So Gateway Arch Park Foundation went under contract to purchase the Millennium site in September of last year. And it was about a 3-year process just to get to that point, conversations with the ownership, with the city. But we are doing this because we care about St. Louis and we need that site as a city to be an economic driver for our region again. So we've moved quickly since September in a very thoughtful and methodical process, one of which was getting a redevelopment plan approved by the city planning commission. Then part of that redevelopment plan was putting out an RFP for development partners. Gateway Arch Park Foundation is not and will never be a developer. That's not what we do. So you partner with people that know how to do that. So we did the RFP process, got some really competitive proposals, but we are excited to announce today that we're moving forward with the Cordish companies. Wonderful company with a proven track record of really making transformational urban projects happen. And that's what we need here. So this is a huge milestone. There's many steps to go, but we are heading in the right direction. And I hope that as people are seeing this vision, that they're proud of what can happen in their city. And big things can happen here in St. Louis when we work together.
And this would be a big thing. As we mentioned, a $670 million plan, residences, office spaces, public areas, cultural attractions. But I think it goes without saying, but I want to obviously emphasize this as well. It would change the St. Louis skyline, right? Because obviously the Millennium Hotel, like I said, of course it makes sense it would change the skyline, but that's something that is so integral to a city's personality, to their identity, is that skyline.
Right. Well, and our redevelopment plan and the RFP that we put out left the question open. Do the existing structures get reused, or are we starting with a clean slate? We don't know. We wanted the market to tell us. All three responses that we got back from the RFP were starting with a clean slate. There were not any to reuse those buildings. There's a variety of reasons for that. And, look, we understand that there's nostalgia attached to the Millennium structures. But what's really important and what we need most is a bold vision here. And that's what we have. And that's what we're showing today. And Cordish and their team have come up with something that's going to redefine the St. Louis skyline. And that's a great thing. And it's something that's going to, again, make that site something we can all be proud of, and that it's an economic engine again.
Mike, tell us about the plan itself. Like I said, I've seen the renderings. It looks great. Most renderings of anything you see look really good. But how do you get to the point of this particular design?
Well, as Ryan mentioned, one of the key attributes of our track record of success is to bring vision to life. And that's what we're most excited about, was our ability to participate in this RFP process, but then be selected. And this is a once in a generational moment for St. Louis's front door, and on the riverfront there, to create connectivity, enhancement, accessibility, a diverse mixed use application to this site right on the riverfront, connecting the Gateway Arch Park, Keener Plaza, Ballpark Village, Busch Stadium, everything that we have to be so proud of in this area, on a level of just seismic development that is game changing for the front door and the skyline, and the usability within this site, inclusive of, as you mentioned, premium residential units, office use, and a lot of the public spaces that we have contemplated as a function of this, so that public can traverse this efficiently and through connection through all of these great locations that we have surrounding it, as this is set as a blighted site that's kind of in the middle of everything right now in its current state. So our goal and our vision here is to bring to life what you've already seen in these renderings and make it absolutely transformational for St. Louis as we continue to double down on that vision for our metro area and our residents and visitors alike.
This was a specific question we had from someone in that connectivity that you're talking about with that property, the Arch Grounds itself. Is there going to be like a lid or cover over I-44 Memorial Drive or anything like that to better connect the park?
Our initial, as you can kind of see in the plans that we've shared so far, our initial focus is obviously the site itself, right? And the connectivity of the site itself directly through the cathedral into the Arch Grounds. There's a small 1-block portion of Clark Street that connects you up to Ballpark Village, Busch Stadium, Walnut Street, obviously being a connector there. We call for a lot of opportunities for enhancement along these streetscapes. There's current infrastructure going on right now along 4th and Broadway that'll help with a lot of the traffic flow. This is all complementary to that, as well as the Great Rivers Greenway and the Brick Line and all of these that are folded into this plan. We've acknowledged and looked at opportunities that are not part of this current plan, but could develop in due time to replicate some of the connectivity that you've already seen as Luther Ely Smith Square has connected to the Arch Grounds, and where you can kind of come over the top of the highway in that manner. But certainly enhancing what's already there is absolutely paramount to this project.
Just like with Ballpark Village, it wasn't finished when they built it, when it was built, right? I mean, they've continued to add on to it. Is this project going to have a similar sort of feel where maybe things can be added or changed?
I think your ancillary elements can continue to develop over time as development continues over time. That's the goal of any large scale project, is that it feeds further development around it. And this is an engine for that, just as other projects throughout our city have been, an engine to continued development. This is a big play for a lot more continuous growth for our city. Currently, this is not a phased approach in our plan, But some of those ancillary pieces of pedestrian enhancements or adjacencies can be applied as we go or in the future.
So the idea is that if it's going to get done, it would be done all at once.
That's correct.
Right.
Yeah.
How many residences did you say would be added?
We're looking north of 500
Okay.
units, as well as over 200,000 square feet of Class A office space on the front door of St. Louis.
Yeah, we've talked so much about ARPA funds. How can they be used to help the city, the RAM settlement money, and what the Board of Aldermen and city leadership is going to do with that. When I look at this rendering, this project, this development, I'm like, holy cow, this is transformative. I mean, it's not just transformative in the sense that it is bringing residences and business, but it's so people facing, right? Like people are going to see this. It is the front door of the city of St. Louis, which, like I said, is tied to the identity of the city. So this really could be a generational development.
Yeah, that's the idea, right? We want to one, this is the right thing to do. This is what this site needs. This is what this city and this region deserve. And if anything, we want people to take away today that St. Louis can do big things. We've got a lot of steps to go in this process, but really amazing, transformational, generational opportunities can come to fruition when we work together in partnership. That's at the core of everything Gateway Arch Park Foundation does, is partnership. That's what our organization has been built on. So I really hope that this community feels a lot of pride today, that there's positive movement. There's a lot of momentum going on, whether it's this project, the Brick Line, as Mike mentioned, the old courthouse is going to reopen this spring. There's just so much going on that we can be excited about.
Ranj, because you showed me the rendering last night, and he sent it to me, and my first thought was, and I say this as a lifelong St. Louisan, I'm like, what is that? Like, I thought it was Chicago or something. It looked too fancy.
Yeah.
I mean, as a lifelong St. Louisan, just like Energizer Park is so nice and fancy. I'm like, wow, we have this.
One thing that's interesting you point that out, Amy. I think as St. Louisans, and we're all guilty of this, we have an inferiority complex that we can't be like other cities. Well, we can't. We have the opportunity to do something really special here, and not just here, but throughout the city with this kind of momentum. And we can be a premier world-class city. And this is part of that momentum.
And we must be aspirational in all of those efforts, and not just in the thought and the idea of that aspiration, but the actual application of bringing these things to life. And renderings are fantastic, but then bringing together groups, as we've done here in our work with the city, and going before LCRA next week, and all the steps that it will take to get this done, it's towards the process of actually seeing it through to make these transformational changes in an aspirational, bold, visionary way for the benefit of our city. And you'll also note in a lot of these plans too, we're acknowledging a lot of those great attributes of our city in new development. It's possible to do great new things that pay homage to the history, tradition, and usability of our current existence. And we just are excited by the opportunity to really level up for our city in the way that it deserves.
So you had that meeting Tuesday that you're talking about with the redevelopment authority. Clearly you've already done first step here. That's another step in the process. If everything goes well, when do we think we might be breaking ground here?
Well, so that a lot of that remains to be seen. Tuesday is a big step in determining a timeline, right? So we need a lot of city agency approvals to move forward with this plan. So LCRA, that board is a big step in that process. SLDC and the team over there have been amazing to work with and very supportive. So after we get through that meeting, I think we'll know a little more about timeline.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I think, I'm sure we'll be talking to the two of you about this as time goes on, because I always joke about the hotel. From the time I was at Busch Stadium looking up and thinking, are there weeds in that roof? And you could see it from, the seats, which is bad, but to have a new beautiful structure there would be
Yeah.
just a huge
Amazing.
boost to this area. Also, Amy did mention to you that we came up with an idea.
For the Ram settlement money.
Right. Amy, you want to tell
Okay.
Ryan about it?
And we crowdsourced this as well.
Yeah.
A second arch.
What if we build
Built
with
a
the $294 million in Ram settlement
A
money?
second arch.
Yeah.
It could be a couple things. We could do it on the other side of the city. So you enter with an arch and you leave with an arch. Or we could do a series of arches like nesting dolls.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
an arch inside the arch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there are no bad ideas. in
There are no
the
bad ideas.
brainstorm, So we'll take that back.
Yeah.
You want to think about it? You want to think about it and get back
It's
to
not
this?
part of the current plan.
Okay.
Just to clarify.
No.
Just to be
We'll
clear.
follow up. We'll circle the wagons. We'll follow up. We'll touch base. All those things.
We'll add that to the list
Yeah.
of weeds.
Yeah.
Well, just think about it.
Yeah.
I need those weeds
We'll have,
first. Though.
we'll have real people spend real
That's the
time.
priority. Yeah.
Ryan McClure, Mike LaMartina, thanks for coming in. It's really exciting stuff. So
Well, thank you for having us.
can't wait to get it going. Thanks, guys, for being with us. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Coming up on the next Business of Family Business, it's a first for us. We're having a repeat guest, and that would be Chris Hoffman of Hoffman Brothers Heating, Cooling, Electrical, Plumbing, etc. Kevin Short of Clayton Capital Partners and I check in with Chris because he has so many great tips and stories for business people, entrepreneurs, and yes, those of you in family businesses. Join us for the Business of Family Business on KMOX this Saturday at 2.
Being first in line can be very important to homeowners. First in line for the plumber, first in line for the HVAC guy, first in line for Banner Construction. It's Banner Construction's winter home event, and you can be first in line this spring and save before the annual price increases. Banner Construction is a James Hardy and Pella Winter replacement specialist, and now is the best time to schedule a free in-home consultation with no obligation. Call 314-569-1050 or see them online and have a banner day.
Need a lawyer? Onder wins. Call Onder Law at 314-9-million. That's 314-9 all zeros. Or go to onderwins.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
There are times where high standards are vital. For example, your football team wouldn't let just anyone start at quarterback. And should you let just anyone give you guidance? We don't think so. In fact, at California Psychics, 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us don't make the grade. You see, we come from the home of free spirits and open minds. We're not short of spiritual believers or big dreamers. It's why we know better than anyone what makes a good psychic. California Psychics connect you with the very best, so we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. Download the app or connect with us at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Right now, new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. So, there's never been a better time to give our services a try. That sounds like a touchdown to me. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guaranteed details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Breaking news, entertaining conversation, and live sports. This is KMOX.
Today is Wednesday. Wednesday.
We got Polo Asensio, part of the Spanish broadcast team for the St. Louis Cardinals, joining us just after the 12:30 news. He's in Florida. Sounds like he wants to talk about everything but baseball.
Yeah.
We'll steer him back, hopefully. We're going to try. But speaking of baseball, FanDuel Sports Network, which is where you can watch Cardinals baseball, they made an announcement not too long ago that they will be available on Amazon Prime. So if you have Amazon Prime, they'll be available. However, it is an add-on subscription for $19.99 per month.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Do you know what is getting so expensive? It is more expensive than cable now. I know that for a fact. If you have YouTube TV, which is now $85 a month, and Netflix and Amazon Prime, if you want like Paramount or any of those things, ESPN and Disney Plus, that all of those together is more expensive than DirecTV.
You know what doesn't cost $19.99 a month?
The Odyssey app?
The Odyssey app. Totally free all the time, and all the Cardinals games are on it. So you can listen to Cardinals baseball on your phone. Of course, you need to be in the St. Louis area at the time you are listening because of blackout restrictions, but pretty good deal. Free. Listen to John Rooney, Ricky Horton, Mike Claiborne.
Yep. Very, very good.
I love that. But $19.99 a month. I thought when I saw the headline, I thought, oh, great. If you have Amazon Prime, you have the network. But no, you got to pay for it in addition to your Amazon Prime subscription.
Hey, do you remember MapQuest?
Do I remember it? I didn't realize it was still a thing, but it is.
I didn't know it was still around. MapQuest will let you name the Gulf of Mexico whatever you want. They have a link where you can click on MapQuest. You type it in. I named it just to, in preparation for tomorrow's championship game, USA versus Canada in the Four Nations Cup. I named it the Gulf of Kachuk.
Okay.
Yeah. And you can do that. And then it just changes the name. It's not super technical. It's like anything you could do if you had Photoshop or even just Instagram. But it does MapQuest. It'll change the name of the Gulf of Mexico for you. But then when I went to MapQuest, it doesn't change it all the time. Just, not that it would be changed for everybody. I thought it would say the Gulf of Mexico or Gulf of Kachuk for you every time you used it. That's not how it works.
No, it's not like Wikipedia.
No, I guess you just screenshot it.
Well, this isn't good for MapQuest because they're going to get barred from the White House.
So here's what
they're going to lose their press credentials.
Yeah, well, it says Gulf of Mexico still, but here's what MapQuest tweeted. So we still haven't figured out how to update our maps. Sorry, but since you totally asked for this and we have nothing better to do, we've granted you exclusive access to a place very dear to our hearts. So it's like a temporary change, and I'm guessing that they're joking about not being able to update their maps, but I'm also not entirely sure that they're joking.
They're probably not. We got a message.
Know how to update it.
A message on YouTube.
Yeah.
If you're watching us on the YouTube stream from Jake, who says they should reuse those weeds for the green space of the new development. #heritage.
What a great idea.
You know what? I wanted the weeds from the roof of the Millennium Hotel when they finally tear it down, but I am willing to accept those weeds being part of a centerpiece on the property.
Love it.
Planted so that everybody can enjoy them. I'm okay with that. That's a good idea, Jake. Polo Asensio joins us next on KMOX.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy.
and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-656-1551. That's 800-656-1551. 800-656-1551.
I'm Dave Glover, and I see clearly now thanks to the doctors, Dr. Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, and Samuel Barry. You can too. Just go to youridoc.com.
Farming's hard. To feed the world, farmers have to work the land, brave the elements, and fight the battle against weeds. Weeds reduce crop yields, so prices go up and everybody gets less to eat. But 50 years ago, farmers got a new tool to fight weeds, glyphosate. It kills weeds while protecting the harvest. Time and again, it has been approved by the EPA and by leading regulatory bodies around the world. It helps enable practices that reduce erosion and keep soil healthy, which is good for the earth. Farming's hard, but it's a little easier with glyphosate. Learn more at go.bayer.com/glyphosate, paid for by Bayer.
At 12:30, it's 16 degrees. The feels like is 11 downtown at the Arch. The Gateway Arch Park Foundation owns the long vacant Millennium Hotel and has picked a developer to tear down the round, tall building with its rotating restaurant and the rest of it to make way for a $670 million complex where people could shop and live in high rises that would be visible from Busch Stadium and, of course, the Arch. Stalled vehicle 55 north at Broadway in the right lane, also 70 east at Lindbergh in the right lane, and 255 westbound at Telegraph in the right lane. And the forecast is sponsored by the Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company, pennmutual.com/STL. Are you considering life insurance? Penn Mutual's accelerated client experience makes applying for life insurance fast and easy. Ask your independent advisor or go to pennmutual.com/STL. Passing flurries, some clouds, some sun today, high 17. For tonight, the low 0 with real feel temperatures 10 to 20 below. Tomorrow, breezy, frigid with a high of 20. Right now, 16, feels like 11. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Hi, Stacy here with Fairwinds River's Edge Senior Living in St. Charles. We have a helpful seminar coming up Friday, March 7th that just might be the help you didn't even know you needed. Learn about the current housing market and tips on how to downsize and move from a home you may have been in for 20 years, or maybe it's been 50. Happy hour follows. Visit us online at fairwindsriversedge.com and let us know if you're able to join us. Thanks, and we hope to talk with you soon.
99 years. That's how long Overhead Door Company of St. Louis has been repairing and replacing garage doors for savvy homeowners. Since 1926, they are the only authorized dealer of Overhead Door brand products in the city. Always look for the iconic red ribbon to be sure you're dealing with the genuine, the original Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. For same-day garage door repair 24/7, call Overhead Door Company of St. Louis or schedule online overheaddoorsstlouis.com. That's overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Creve Coeur camera may be gone, but we opened another store called the Photo Pros. Same great service, same great people, and today's photography equipment. Lots of new cameras, used equipment, flashes, studio lights, tripods, filter, films, gadgets, and more. We are the Photo Pros out in the Westport area. Every day someone gets a new camera off the internet and comes to see us. It's not the same. You get ripped off. Google Creve Coeur camera or the Photo Pros to find us.
City SC returns to the pitch this Saturday to kick off the 2025 season at Enterprise Park against the Colorado Rapids. Pre-game at 7, kick at 7:30, and you can hear the game on your home for St. Louis City Soccer, Y98.
¡Vámonos! Jardín izquierdo para atrás, el jardinero para atrás. El Grand Slam número 16. El cuadrangular 690. ¡A la historia, José Alberto Pujol!
That's the voice of our guy, Polo Asensio. You can hear him on La Tremenda, 880 AM. If you listen to Spanish language broadcast, you can hear the Cardinals this upcoming season there. and Polo Asensio. That was the voice you just heard. He will be with them again. He's with the team right now, actually, in Jupiter, Florida, where they are in the midst of spring training. And now we've got Polo Asensio with us. Hello, Polo.
What's up, Chris and Amy? I am live from where the magic happens. I am right behind Taka Yanagimoto and Daniel Venn. Taka Yanagimoto is the guy that you see running around with a big old camera wherever the Cardinals go.
Oh, yeah.
He takes all these great pictures.
Okay.
And right now he's scrolling. How many pictures did you take today, Taka? We're live on KMOX right now, just so you know.
You're just having a whole conversation with somebody else.
Are we in this conversation?
Do you need us?
600? Hey, he took 600 pictures today. So
That's
a lot of the pictures that you see on social
Yeah.
media, it's those social media pictures are all yours. I mean, you take them all, Taka, most of them.
Uh-huh. Polo's he's talking to somebody
Yeah.
else. Yeah.
No, hey, look, guys, I am giving you the inside information. You don't want to know about the team. You don't want to know about who's playing first, who's playing second. No, you want to know who takes the pictures. Taka Yanagimoto. And then on the other side, Daniel Venn. Daniel Venn, he got a promotion this year, so congratulations, Daniel. He's right next to me right now. And he is the
want to
guy
talk to him too?
Well, no, he's the guy in charge of social media. So a lot of the posts and a lot of the magic that happens on social media is because of Daniel Venn. So
That's awesome.
thank you, Daniel.
Yeah, thank you.
From Amy and Chris.
Great job,
Oh,
Daniel.
it takes a whole team, and those are
You see?
great pictures. So absolutely.
Yeah, like you see the players, you hear the players,
Yeah.
blah, 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 but you don't see or you don't hear about the people behind the magic. Behind the magic, there's more magic. And Taka is magical. Daniel is magical. And as you know, I am Mr. Magical.
You really
You
are.
are
we have-
Mr. Magic.
Yeah, you're
now we
nothing but
have
magic.
Elizabeth Meinke, and she is a writer for the Cardinals Insider magazine and also produces a lot of the some of the features that you see on TV.
We've had
Did you
Elizabeth
guys
in.
see yeah. Have you guys seen the one she did last year? I think she produced her. She was the mastermind behind Miles Michaelis interviewing some of his teammates here at spring training.
Yes.
Did
Yeah.
you see those? It was Lance Lynn and Mason Wynn. Well, Elizabeth was like the mastermind behind that. So, and she's standing right next to me too.
That's
So
excellent. Well, thank you to the
tell me you don't.
Hmm?
Yeah, tell me you don't feel better right now knowing who puts the magic out there for you guys to enjoy. Because without them, you don't even know who Nolan Arenado is.
That's right.
Or Lars Newbar.
No,
or any of those guys.
You're 100% correct.
Yeah.
So-
yeah. No, I mean, like for real, this is where you want to be. You don't want to be on the field with the players. You want to be with the people bringing you the players.
That's right.
So the vibe down there, you're with the team behind the scenes, you're with the team that's on the field. What are you seeing today as far as workouts go and
They
the
have
players on the
fried-
field?
Wait. Amy, they have fried plantains for lunch with rice and cauliflower. That smells delicious, Daniel. Anyway, you were talking about the players, Amy. What were you saying about the
Yeah.
players? I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, well the workouts. People are eager to see the team. I know. I cannot believe we've got that first game on Saturday, which is going to be beautiful considering we've got snow on the ground here. What are the vibes, the workouts? Have you talked to Arenado? Have you seen the guys out on the field? How does it feel today?
The vibes are great. Sonny Gregg just walked by me. Nolan Arenado's being interviewed over there. Think Hansen's walking my way. What's up, Think Hansen? We're live on KMOX. What's up, Think Hansen? Do you want to say what's up to these people right here? Yeah.
I think he just said
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he said, how we doing KMOX?
Oh, great.
You know what? Yeah, you know Think Tanks, right?
Yeah,
you,
of course
you,
we know
you
Think
heard about
Tanks.
okay. Well, one of the things that you guys don't see a lot is the pitchers turning into catchers. You know, when they go out in pairs to the field, the pitchers, they throw on 90, 95, 100, and that's how they throw to each other on the field. So when you see a pitcher, you are also looking at a catcher. Think about that.
Well, speaking of that, there is a guy who's moving from catcher, that position, to first base in Wilson Contreras. You would think that would be an easy transition for anybody, but it really isn't, is it, Polo?
I actually talked to him today about that. And he just smiled at me and he said, I am having the best spring training ever. Why? Because number one, he doesn't have to carry the big old bag with all the catcher's gear,
Nobody
the
wants that.
helmet. No. All he has to do is carry a bag, the same bag with about 2 gloves and 3 bags, and his helmet. That's it. And he is having a great time transitioning from one to the next because he is following the lead and the advice of a couple of guys that you maybe don't think about when you think about first basemen. Jose Oquendo and Ozzie Smith. So Wilson Contreras has been working with both of those guys here in Jupiter at Rogers News Center, the complex, for a couple of weeks now. And every day he goes out there, takes grounders, and he understands that what happens right now during spring training is a lot easier, right? You're talking, you're learning, you're doing different things, but the game speed is a little different. But he is more than ready. He is more than happy to do this. And I think if he stays healthy, he is going to have a monster season with the bat. I really believe that. And that could be a big difference. And like you guys said, and it's true, Nolan was being interviewed. The interview is done. Now he's going home. He is very loose. He is very happy. And it looks like everybody is having fun at this camp. I had a conversation with our manager, Oliver Marmol, today, and even with Mo about that. Like, this camp is very loose. Like the guys are having fun. And it's like they're playing with no pressure because a lot of people are already writing them off. They're like, they're not going to do anything. They're not going to do anything. So they're going in knowing that the expectations are low from the outside. But from the inside, the expectations are the same every single year. Get to the playoffs and go for the World Series. That's what the players think. That's what they're talking about. That's what they are feeling. And now we have Thomas Segisi right in front of me eating. How delicious is that fried plantain?
He's
beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
We're live right now on the radio, just so you know, Thomas.
No.
Yeah.
How's
you like the fried plantain?
Yeah.
He agrees. He gives it a thumbs up.
That's kind of, well, yeah, of course, everybody loves a good fried plantain. Polo Asensio is with us on KMOX. We were talking about the vibes in camp, and everybody feels pretty good going into camp because it's the season's just starting. There are no standings yet. Everybody's in a good way. And you mentioned that they feel like they can win despite the underwhelming offseason. Do you really think that? Do you really think this team could have a good opportunity to win the Central this year?
I do. And I am not just saying it because I'm here and that's what everybody wants to hear. No. I really do. Like, the infield, I think it's going to be one of the big, like the good infield in all of the big leagues. Because with Contreras first, like I said, his offense is going to be great. His defense, obviously we have not seen him out there. So let's wait and see. But if it's not him, it's going to be Alec Burleson. Then in second base, you have a few guys that can play second base every day, and that's a good thing. You have Brandon Donovan. Don't forget, he won a Gold Glove a couple of years ago. You also have Nolan Gorman, that had a tough season, a tough second half of the season with the bat, but he can play second base just like nothing. And on the other side, you have Mason Wynn and Nolan Arenado. And then in the outfield, you have a lot of outfielders. Oliver Marmol and his coaches are going to have the luxury of picking their 3 best outfielders. If they want great defense, they can go with Victor Scott. We can go with Gianni. They can go with Lars Super on one side. We can go with Jordan Walker on the other. If they want more offense, then you go with Luber in the middle. You go with Donovan on one corner, Walker on the other corner, and then you put Gorman in second. So I think this team is going to be good. The pitching, a lot of people, it's kind of suspect. It's not suspect, it's young. Let's see what Palante can do. Let's see what Michael McGreevy can do. Hopefully they get a chance. Let's see what Fetty can do. Let's see what kind of match we see. And, of course, Sonny Gray. And the bullpen, when you have a great closer like Ryan Helsley, and you also have a guy like Jojo Romero coming back, the rest you can mix and match. And, again, I do believe this is going to be a fun team to watch. I do believe this is going to be a team that's going to win a lot more games than a lot of people think.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at the division, I think the Cubs are an improved team. Everybody is always concerned about the Brewers and what they can be. I write the Brewers off every year, and then every year Milwaukee is right there. And if they're not winning the division, they're right there in the end. So, of those two teams, is there one that concerns you most, or are you thinking about one of the others that I didn't mention?
I see them equal, like both the Brewers and the Cubs. This Central Division, every year, again, I sound like a broken record. Every year, people count everybody out on the Central. Yes, once you get to the playoffs, things can go our way, speaking like division-wise. But this is going to be a tough one because the Pirates are going to have a really good pitching staff, and let's see what their young hitters can do. And now with Tommy Pham there, that could be an X factor. With us, with the Cardinals, we have a young team, a team that is hungry, and like I said, a team that is loose, but they know they have to perform because a lot of these young players also know that this is the chance they've been waiting for. There's a chance that they've been they're screaming for, they've been looking for, and now they're going to get it. So it's up to them to perform, to achieve, and to stay in the big leagues, if that makes any sense. So I like it. I like what we can do, and I think it's going to be a battle from top to bottom. Yes, and you also have the Reds, and maybe I'm wrong. You never know, but I don't see the Reds as being part of this group of Pirates, Cardinals, Cubs, and Brewers.
Polo, how many games this year? How many games will be on La Tremenda?
Well, we're going to start. We are starting this Saturday. So Saturday and Sunday, both games are going to be on La Tremenda with yours truly, Polo Asensio, with Benji Molina. And also during the season, every single home game, again, 81 games, we have them on La Tremenda. And there's a chance that finally we get at least one or two road trips on the road. And I know it's been slowly but surely we're getting there. I'm happy. I'm happy to be here. And just, to let you know, I believe Benji did the same thing as I did. And we just signed a 3-year extension. So at least for 3 more years,
awesome.
You're going to have to put up with my nonsense and talking about fried bananas and rice when you guys want to talk about baseball.
No, we don't care as long as we hear you talk. That's all we need, buddy.
And congratulations. Congratulations on growing that broadcast in 3 more years.
Yes, and as you know, I mean, I like to have fun. And again, yes, I know everybody wants to talk about baseball, but seriously, like, the guy who takes the pictures, the guy who manages social media, the lady who writes the stories, we are all parts of the Cardinals. We are all big leaguers with the St. Louis Cardinals, and you need to know who they are. So when you see them in the street or whatever, I'm not going to say go ask them for an autograph or whatever, but at least know that it's not just the players on the field.
Yeah.
It's a huge organization, a huge family of people, and there's a lot of front office people. And when I say front office, I'm just talking about the owners, and Mo and Haim, who is around here. I'm talking about people that sell the tickets, people from Cardinals Care, of course, your Spanish radio, your English radio, TV. I believe their first game is on Sunday. So it's a big family, and I'm excited. I'm happy to be part of this family. And again, Amy, Chris, thank you for giving me the time. And yeah, so this Saturday, La Tremenda 880, Sunday, La Tremenda 880. Give us a shot. I guarantee you are not going to regret it.
See you, Polo. See you in St. Louis. Thank you.
Polo. Have fun.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Polo Asensio, part of the Spanish language broadcast team for your St. Louis Cardinals.
Honestly, I appreciate the team spirit because, Ron, I don't even think KMOX knows we work here.
The rest of the building? They know that.
I don't even know that anyone knows
I don't
we're
think
here.
so. I think you're right. I think they know that something happens between 10 and 1.
I think they think it's like
in this
syndicated.
Room. Yeah,
you don't know who. No.
Why is there somebody on CNN right now that looks like Ed Grimley?
Okay.
I don't know who that is.
We love you all.
I just looked up and Ed Grimley's on TV.
Hey, Ron, I'm glad you're here.
I'm glad you're here. You guys remember the creepy reporter? Yeah. All right. Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/radio, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
Hey, it's Matt Pauley. I'm in Jupiter, Florida, covering Cardinal spring training as the Redbirds get ready for a new season. Hear my reports mornings and afternoons, as well as evenings on a Graybar Sports Open Line.
Get everything you need to know about what's happening in Redbirds camp with the Cardinal Spring Training Reports. Sponsored by St. Louis Composting, Wilkie Window and Door, and Norm's Bargain Barn. On your home of the St. Louis Cardinals, KMOX.
Happy birthday to us. 2 surprises for you. 2 surprises from NordVPN. 2 surprises for you.
Celebrate twice as much with NordVPN. We have a special birthday deal. Get 72% off and a coupon for up to 1 year free. NordVPN is rated as excellent on PC Mag. Visit NordVPN.com and discover one of the most advanced VPNs in the world. What are the benefits? Secure up to 10 devices with a single account. Receive alerts if your email address leaks to the dark web. Reduce the risk of phishing, scams, and malware with NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro tool. Encrypt your online traffic and browse with more peace of mind. Get the special birthday deal at NordVPN.com. Additional terms apply. NordVPN. Cybersecurity built for every day.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the place for skilled skydiving instructors, accomplished airbrush artists, and proficient pediatricians. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter to hire, you're missing out. ZipRecruiter is the place that's so confident it can make your hiring easier that it lets you try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. So if you want the right candidates for all your roles, ZipRecruiter is the place to go. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Are you looking for a place to call home without all the maintenance of a home? Check out the Towns of Linneman. New townhomes by Lombardo Homes, located in St. Peters. These luxury new construction townhomes are located on the south side of Route 36494, east of Harvester Road, and offer floor plans featuring 2 to 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, a loft, and 2-car attached garages. The multi-million-dollar amenity package includes a clubhouse, pool, pickleball courts, dog park, children's play area, and walking trails. Visit LombardoHomes.com for more information.
With the new year, it's time to make sure you have the best vision for 2024. That means scheduling your annual eye exam with Ophthalmology Associates. Call 314-966-5000.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight. This month, we are focusing on National Cancer Prevention Month. And joining us is Dr. Graham Kolditz, Associate Director at Siteman Cancer Center.
Working to increase access to screening and early detection across the region and across the spectrum from prevention to detection and treatment.
Special thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, go to siteman.wustl.edu.
I'm Kevin Wheeler. This is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
You can watch us. Oh, sorry, Amy.
I was sorry. I was just so excited.
Yeah, you can watch us on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter, along with listening to us on the Odyssey app. And Jeff is watching on Facebook and says, man, I love the show. Listening from Tulsa helps with being homesick for St. Louis.
Oh,
that's nice to have somebody who's listening from abroad.
The great state of Oklahoma.
Oklahoma might as well be a different country. You ever been there?
I have. My aunt is from Oklahoma. It was the very first time when they got married, my aunt and uncle, the very first time I ever heard of anything. I didn't know what it was, but I guess they got married at a country club. I'd never heard of a country club. I didn't know what a country club was. I was, I think, 6. I was 5 or 6, and I was a flower girl. And we had to use the restroom. And again, not knowing what a country club was, how they have the golf locker rooms and such, I came out of the bathroom and I said, this bathroom is 2 stories and they have showers and couches. And I remember that like it was yesterday.
And this was in Oklahoma.
This was in Oklahoma. They got married at a country club in Oklahoma, and there was a staircase in the bathroom and they had couches in the bathroom. And I thought, what is, like, my brain, my 5-6-year-old brain could not even comprehend where I was. I called it a hotel in the bathroom.
That's for the rich people.
Man.
They got an entire suite. That's a bathroom suite. You got stairs in it.
Unbelievable.
Boy, are you living large.
Hey, if you are worried about flying, because a lot of people are nervous now with some of the aviation incidents we've seen recently, especially the upside down plane in Toronto. You know who's really nervous right now is Gayle King. I've been watching CBS in the morning, and apparently she's a very anxious flyer anyway. But they've been talking about these aviation incidents and and she just, you can tell she's pretty nervous and upset about it. And I thought, well, let's talk to my pilot friend tomorrow and have him reassure us. I assume he's going to reassure us, but I figured we could talk to him tomorrow.
He may
Why
not.
should we feel safe? Now, Tony Dokupool pointed out to Gayle King on CBS, he's like, don't forget the numbers, that flying is the safest way to travel, period, full stop. Like me,
well, of course,
driving on the snow-covered roads, Highway 40, to get to work today, way more dangerous than flying.
That's it. You're 100% right. Today on my commute, somehow I encountered, once I got on the highway, I encountered 0 cars until I got to right downtown, pretty close to the building.
That's impressive.
0. That's never happened to me on the highway, even during COVID.
Yeah. Well, at any rate, we're going to talk to my pilot friend, and I will say this. I did read an article from Yahoo about the 3 ways to be less nervous flying. We'll get more into it tomorrow.
I went to high school with less nervous.
But the number 1 way they recommend to be less nervous flying, which I completely disagree with, try to meet the pilot. I don't want to talk to the pilot.
I don't want to meet the pilot or the parents.
I don't want to see the pilot.
No, you don't.
I want the pilot to be almost like a deity, a perfect superhuman that I don't want to meet. And I don't want to have anything in common with the pilot. Because if I think, oh my gosh, the pilot is a person just like me, and I know me, no. I want to think that the pilot is actually some type of super species. I don't want him to be a regular guy or gal.
I don't want him to be, I don't want him to look young.
No.
I don't want him to look like Pete Buttigieg, and I don't want him to look 150. I don't want that either.
You want the Goldilocks of pilots.
Give me a 50-year-old and we're good to go. All right. Anything you missed on the Odyssey app, we want you to download it, listen to the show, listen to the podcast. We'll be back with you tomorrow. Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji back at 10 o'clock. We're going to hang out with the Dave Glover Show, though, right now for an hour on KMOX.